Right, hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome back to Thursday Z Talks, episode 24, where today, I'm incredibly excited for this episode. I've got two return guests and a brand new guest for the first ever time. How you all doing, fellas?
Doing good, man.
Doing good.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, of course, welcome. And just thank you guys for taking your time to do this. I'm excited to bring this episode. And sorry if you can see the glare in my glasses, guys. I do actually need glasses for the screen. I've just been refusing to wear them for the past 24 weeks. But here we are. So firstly, I just want to say a big welcome to Harry, who is Halum. I'm not sure how you pronounce the name.
However you want, man. I've heard every version of that. I don't care. It's however I've heard Halum, I don't know. So whatever works for you. Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, to make it easy, I'm just going to say Harry. I think it's just going to be easier.
Sounds good. Yeah.
So welcome Harry to the stream. Recently, I actually found out about Harry's channel through Ryan from RWR Movie Reviews. Awesome guys, so shout out to Ryan. Harry, do you want to go first, man, and just introduce yourself and a little bit about what your channel's all around?
Sure. Yeah, my name's Harry. I do movie reviews. I like to analyze movies too, so I'm getting more into that. To be honest, I've only been doing this for about a month or two, so I'm still sort of experimenting a lot, but I just grew up loving movies, and so it's all going to be movie related coming from me. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, dude, awesome. And I saw recently that, besides like movie reviews, you've also done like a Blu-ray hunt and stuff as well.
Yeah, I've been doing Blu-ray hunts. Yep. So I'm also going to be, reviewing all the James Cameron films up to Avatar. So I'm experimenting with different things, just kind of doing a little bit of everything right now. So.
Getcha.
Yeah. Yeah,
man. Well, that's awesome. And also congratulations on recently passing 100 subscribers as well.
Thank you, man. Dude. Appreciate it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Super excited.
And I don't know if I'm mistaken here, but I think now if you pass 100 on YouTube, you get like the community tab. Is that right?
Apparently, man. I just saw I unlocked it the other day, so I posted about this stream, and I was super excited to be able to do that. I thought it was 500 subscribers in the past, but I guess now it's 100, I guess. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, like when I got my community tab, it was after I passed 500 subscribers, but now I think it doesn't matter how many subscribers you get. I think you get the community tab already. Like I have a second channel where I do book reviews and read-alongs. It only has like 47 subscribers at the moment, and I just got a community tab on it. So
oh wow,
that's actually pretty awesome. It helps the community tab. I feel like helps grow, I think, your audience in a lot of ways.
Right.
What's the community tab?
So community tab is basically where, for example, like with the live stream tonight, the community tab allows you, if you wanted to, share that live stream coming up, and you could be like, hey guys, I'm going to be on like Mike's channel tonight, catch me over on this video kind of thing. So you can either promote like upcoming like live streams or your current videos, or just if you wanted to put out a poll for your audience on videos they want to see.
Okay.
I'll tell you about it after the stream, dude, because it's a really cool feature you've got at your fingertips right now.
I guess. I didn't know.
Yeah, because I do it to promote streams or collabs I'm featured a part of, and I've been recently doing tabs where I create the schedule of the planned videos that I drop in a week, and what videos you're excited to watch if you're a subscriber.
Yeah.
So it's a really good feature.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
Sorry, I don't know about these things.
Hey, dude, no problem at all. I mean, we always learn something new, right? So,
yeah.
Dude, all good. As I say, I'll talk to you a bit after the stream as well about it. But yeah, just want to say hi to Harry. Thank you for joining. And yeah, the link to Harry's channel is down below in the description box. Please go subscribe to him. Let's get him on the road to 150 subs. That would be awesome. And a guy who's also very close to 150 subs is Jason. From Jason, the Old Millennial. Jason, for everyone who's kind of brand new to yourself or they haven't maybe seen you on my channel before, do you want to just introduce yourself and your channel and what it's all around?
People don't know me? I'm just kidding.
Right.
I'm sure they don't know me. Jason, Old Millennial. Do movie reviews a little bit. I don't do major movie reviews, just kind of mini movie reviews of what I've been watching over the week.
Right.
I don't really go out to the theater and watch movies. It's mostly streaming stuff that I see, maybe Redbox every once in a while. But and then I do a lot of rankings, and I talk about music as well. And I do a lot of rankings with music and a lot of collaborations with other channels.
Yeah, and I've noticed that you have got like a wide stream of like ranking the Beatles songs at the moment, or you're ranking the MCU movies of the like Infinity Saga, which I've been seeing.
Yeah.
And a couple of controversial opinions in there, I believe, but that might just be me.
Between me and you, yeah.
Right. So yeah, Jason's covering a lot of awesome stuff on his channel, and again, he's close to 150. So please go press subscribe button down below. Our link is in the description, and please go sub to his channel. And last but certainly not least is a longtime friend who was probably one of the first people I ever collabed with on YouTube, and that is Jacob Martin. So Jacob, do you want to just tell everyone a little bit about your channel?
Well, my channel's been around, I think probably the longest, I think, out of the four of us. I started late 2018, and it's been growing ever since. I'm close to 700 subscribers, which is very surreal at this point.
Nice.
And I thank all of you for helping the channel grow over the years. Some of the stuff I do on my channel, I mainly do movie reviews. I've been doing more TV reviews as of late. I've been covering some TV shows, like I'm doing like episode recaps of Downton Abbey, for example. As far as movie reviews go, I do director projects. I do celebrating Disney every week, where I review a certain Disney film every week. I'm starting to do weekend watch parties on the channel, where I'll invite a special YouTuber to join me, and we'll do watch-alongs of various movies. I also do the occasional ranking videos. So just to create a wide assortment of content on my channel. Just depends on, whatever I end up watching is usually what ends up on the channel. There's not like a planned schedule or anything. It's just whatever I feel like watching.
Get you. Yeah, dude, and I've been seeing you grow for quite a while now, and it's just so awesome to see. And yeah, I started YouTube in September 2018, so I think I'm kind of the same as yourself.
Yeah, I think Perez started about the same time as I did, and we've known each other since we both started our channels. So, and he just celebrated his 4-year anniversary.
Right.
Oh wow.
Right. Yeah, I saw that video as well. Yeah, that was pretty awesome. I think I'm going to do a video next year, and it's like my 5th year. If I'm still going by then.
Yeah.
But we'll see. But yeah, Jacob's such an awesome guy, and yeah, let's help him get to 700 subscribers. And again, please go help Harry and Jason get to 150. At least you guys can all do. So yeah, welcome to Harry, Jason, and Jacob. And yeah, so pretty much before we dive into you guys' comments and questions, so feel free to leave them down below, and we'll get to them. I'm just going to go through all of you guys and kind of just ask you, firstly, Harry, what have you kind of been watching this week?
Yeah, I just got done watching the first Alien movie last night. I'm sort of prepping for these James Cameron reviews, so I'm watching the first Alien. I'm gonna check out Terminator soon. So, yeah, I've been super into sci-fi lately. I don't know why. So I've watched a bunch of sci-fi films. Man, Alien's such a perfect movie. Every time I watch it, it reminds me. I don't know if you guys have opinions on it, but I love that movie. So yeah, that's what I've been watching. I've been watching Alien. I'm going to be watching Terminator here soon. And yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, cool, man. Yeah, I mean, in regards to you guys, I have seen Alien. Surprise!
Nice.
I have seen it.
Hey.
Yeah, I've only seen it once, and I actually really enjoyed the movie. I haven't seen any of the other movies in that franchise, but I've seen the first one.
Oh man. I would say I'm Team Alien over Aliens, but I think of all the sequels, Aliens is the best one. So you gotta at least watch Aliens at least.
See, I've always been a Aliens over Alien guy, but I'll be honest, after I saw Alien last night, I don't know. It's going to be hard for Aliens to beat it when I get to that, so we'll see.
Yeah.
But you should check it out, Mike. It's really a great sequel.
Yeah, I've heard like it's the same thing like you guys have been saying. Like there's always that argument of whether the first one's better or the second one's better. and I've just never
Right.
got a chance to see Aliens. It's on the list. Trust me, it's on the list.
I got the eternal list too, Mike. Yeah. So,
Oh, dude, it just keeps going. Every live stream, we're probably going to get some comments in here, and I'll be like, I haven't seen that one. Let's get that added to the list as well.
yeah.
So, getting there. Jason, have you seen Alien?
No.
No?
Wow.
No.
You can't give me grief this stream then.
Yeah, when it comes to disturbing movies, I'm really a loss for them, I'm afraid. I have a big hole in my filmography on movies I count as disturbing.
Okay.
And that's one of the movies I would declare disturbing, I guess.
Oh, wow, okay.
So
Is it the suspense or the goriness or what
goriness,
part of it? Goriness. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
alien comes out of a guy's stomach, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, thank you. For me.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Well, Mike, I mean, yeah, you've seen way more horror movies than I have, so you definitely have something on me.
Right. Yeah. I mean, especially with being with my partner Emma for the last 3 and a bit years now. She's a huge horror buff, so I've definitely got to see more of those kind of horror movies. But yeah, I'm kind of more for the gory stuff at the moment. Like the gorier the better for me, but it just be me.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
I'm more of the old school suspense type personally, and I feel like Alien kind of falls in that category more so than it being flat out gory. And I think it's a fantastic movie. I think it works great even if you're not into horror movies because it also works as a good sci-fi film.
Right.
It's
definitely.
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic mix to where even if you don't like horror, I think you can still get into the movie. But that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've gotten to the point as a horror fan where I used to like not really care for gore that much, but now I can. It's something I guess I can tolerate more depending on how well executed the movie is. But that's not really something I go for when I watch horror movies. I'm more so the suspense and how disturbing and crazy the premise gets, more so than anything else.
Yeah, I'm with you, Jacob. I'm with you on that, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you guys. Well, like, I like a movie that is like horror, but it is like more kind of suspense focused and like gives you like a really good story. I think it's just at times, like recently, I've just come off watching Terrifier and then Terrifier 2, so it's kind of like I'm like got gore on the brain right now.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's what happens, man. That's why I said I'm on a sci-fi binge right now, because you get in that headspace. You're like, oh, I gotta watch more. So,
right.
Yeah.
Right. So Harry's been watching Alien. He's been watching Terminator. Jason, what have you been checking out this week?
All right, I've been prepared for this. Last Monday, you did a hangout on your channel, Mike.
Yeah.
And I mentioned a movie in the chat, and Nathan and Josh just totally roasted the movie.
Pinocchio?
And I feel like I need to come on and defend my position now. Now I got a platform here. Yes, Pinocchio on Disney Plus. I really like this movie.
And the new one?
Yeah.
Oh, the live action one?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And yeah.
What does that mean, Jacob?
Because most people have really trashed that movie, so you're like in the minority on it.
Yes, everybody trashes this movie. I was dreading to see it. I was kind of like, oh, do I need to see it? I don't know. And then I finally was like, yeah, I'll just watch it, see what it's like. And I came out totally surprised at how much I enjoyed this movie. I liked it much better than the animated version from 1940, whatever it is. The animation version, which I watched not too long ago, I find kind of boring. And there's a part I really don't like about Pinocchio is that you got Stromboli comes in. He kidnaps Pinocchio, basically, puts him in a cage, tells him he's never going to see his father again, tells him that he's going to use him as like firewood, I think. Pinocchio's crying. I mean, it is a terrible situation. And Pinocchio gets out, and Stromboli just goes on, and I think you never see him again. In the live-action version, we get all that, but they add this new character in, which I really enjoyed the new character, this female who's a puppeteer. And she has like this little ballerina puppet that she uses to communicate with Pinocchio, and she helps him out. And I love her story. She has a good song in there. And then ultimately, she ends up getting one over on Stromboli, basically. And you see him go to prison. She takes over the puppet thing. Anyways, and to me, I love that point because I'm like, man, I want something bad to happen to Stromboli. And that bothered me so much in the Pinocchio movie. And so I love that we finally get some satisfaction with the Stromboli character. I don't know if you guys are getting what I'm saying, or if these are just I'm just on my own on this one. But I want bad guys. I want bad things to happen to bad guys. And so Pinocchio always bothered me because there's like 3 bad guys and they all get off scot-free. And I'm always like, I need something bad to happen to Stromboli, something bad to happen to Honest John, something bad to happen to the coachman. Now, we don't really get much out of maybe the other 2, but at least Stromboli gets some kind of upcompence, whatever we call it. And so I like that. I think it's a better paced movie than the original. I thought it paced really well. I wasn't bored at all. I thought it transitioned between each scene really well. I love the Pleasure Island scene. I thought that was done so well. It was a really fun sequence when they're on the island with all the boys and girls and they're doing bad things. And I love that whole sequence. And ultimately, the movie is about don't lie, which is a good thing to say. Obey your parents. That's a good thing.
Right.
And now I had a third point. I forgot already. But I think they teach very good moral values in the movie that I really liked in the end. Don't apologize for your mistakes. I think all 3 are really good things to teach kids and family. It's a good family film to me, and that's my rant. I really like Pinocchio.
See, I definitely am not in the hate train on the new Pinocchio. I watched it and I thought it was perfectly fine, but it's nothing compared to the original Pinocchio. Like the original Pinocchio is like top 5 animated Disney films, and I feel like what Jason was saying with how it did the message and the morals, I felt like the original Pinocchio did it 10 times better because it went out of its way with the darker elements to make sure, don't do this. Don't do this, kids. And I feel like the original did that a lot better, especially in the Pleasure Island sequence. Because in the original movie, the kids were like very rowdy. They were roughhousing. You see them smoking and drinking beer.
Yeah, they took that out.
In the remake, they dumbed it down in the remake. Yeah. Where they're just drinking root beer.
Drinking
root
beer.
Hey kids, drink root beer. That's gonna turn you into a donkey. I'm like, no, you missed the point of that.
You can't smoke on Disney. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So. It's an okay movie. Like, I didn't hate it when I watched it, but it definitely felt unnecessary to me. And I can definitely see why a lot of people didn't like it because it didn't really do anything, I think, to stand out from the animated one, which I think is far better.
I think it's tough to say because like a lot of people have like kind of like hated on that like new version. A lot of people are like, I preferred the original one. Harry, have you seen Pinocchio?
I have. I saw the original, but I haven't seen the new one because it just seems so divisive to me. I was like, I don't know. I'm just gonna hold off on it, but because I haven't really liked a lot of the other Disney live actions that they've done, so I'm not like super interested. But I don't know. I might want to watch it now that I hear this debate forming about it.
My whole goal is that somebody out there will look at Pinocchio and go, "Don't want to watch this," and then go, "Oh, Jason liked it. I'll give it a chance." That's all I have.
Okay.
I think you achieved that with me, Jason. So
okay.
There you go.
That's what.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, dude, I think I would take you on that offer as well because, believe it or not, I've never seen any Pinocchios at all.
Oh, okay.
So
I'd watch the animated one first.
Right, but that one set like the bar kind of thing, and then I'll go.
Yeah.
The issue is with Pinocchio, right? Is like how many times are they going to make this movie? Like I'm pretty sure, like they can make like for example, they got the original animated one, right? I was like, right, okay, cool. And then Zemeckis has just made one. I was like, right, okay. Then I've heard there's like a Russian version one. Then there's like Guillermo del Toro's version coming. I'm like,
there's 2 Italian.
How can you tell that one story?
I'm actually really excited to see the Guillermo del Toro one, mainly because I'm such a fan of not just him as a director, but it's stop motion animation. And
Right,
the early
right,
buzz for it, a lot of people are hyping it up. It might be best picture contender. And I feel like that's great because it's rare for an animated movie to
Yeah.
do that.
right,
Cool.
right. The only thing I don't understand though is like why have they released 3 versions of the same movie in 1 year?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
'Cause, like, somebody's obsessed.
Right. Unless they want to sell Pinocchio toys rapidly, and they're like, right, let's fire up this version and this one. Because
We got the
Ryan
Pauly
saying-
Shore version and the Robert Zemeckis version, the Guillermo del Toro version.
Right. Well, Ryan's saying, Jason, you need to watch the Italian Pinocchio. So, I mean, I don't know how many there is. So I think I'll start on the animated one, and I'll watch the new one, Jason, that you said, and I'll let you know my thoughts.
I just say give it a chance. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, I love Zemeckis, and I
Yeah.
really like Tom Hanks, so I'm down.
Yeah, Back to the Future. Come on.
Right. Exactly. So yeah. So Jason's been watching Pinocchio, and I really enjoyed your rant, by the way. We need more Jason rants. Jacob, what have you been checking out this week?
I haven't been watching as much because of some of these live streams I've been doing. I've been catching up on some of my Alfred Hitchcock projects. I recently watched Suspicion, which was a film that Cary Grant starred in. That was the first collab that he did with Hitchcock. And that was a movie that always frustrates me because the whole premise of the movie is you're unsure whether Cary Grant is a serial killer or not, which that was a against type thing for Cary Grant because he's usually your nice, charming leading man in a lot of movies. And I think the movie was trying to go somewhere dark, but the studio forced Hitchcock to change the ending on him. And so you get to the ending, and it comes right out of nowhere. It comes off as forced, and it's very aimless. And so it makes me dislike the movie because of that. And it's one that I've seen, I think this is the second time I've seen it. It's one where, the more you rewatch it, the less enjoyable it gets because the whole movie felt like a waste of time. So to me, it's like bottom tier Alfred Hitchcock, unfortunately. Another video that just recently dropped on my channel. Obviously, I just finished She-Hulk, and I ranted pretty
That's a
hard
great
on
review.
how awful that was.
Bless you for
That's
finishing
great.
that, man. Wow.
And I've recently, obviously, I've rewatched some Stanley Kubrick films for some live streams that dropped. Jason and I, last night, we talked about Doctor Strangelove.
Right.
I've watched 2001: A Space Odyssey again. I'm doing a collab later tonight with Ryan Cam. 2001 to me, it's hailed by many as one of the greatest movies ever. But I am so polarized by that film every time I watch it. Like, there's great visuals in that movie. It's very influential. I respect it's like the first big sci-fi film that people took seriously. And it's very influential in the genre. It's got some great music. I like the stuff with HAL 9000. I think he's a creepy villain character.
Right.
But it's so slow moving. There's a lot of scenes where nothing interesting happens. It's so pretentious to me, and the characters are so emotionless. I don't feel anything with them. And I've seen this movie, honestly, 4 or 5 times now, and I cannot tell you what happens in this movie, like the ending, like what happens in it, like with the star baby or whatever that is. I don't like the ending of this movie. I can't explain what the point of it is, and I'm not a fan of what, I guess what Kubrick's trying to say there. It doesn't make sense to me, and I don't care what people say, but that baby creeps the crap out of me. Like, I don't like the look of that baby. It's like that close up of him at the end. He's like staring into my soul, and I was like,
Staring into your soul.
Weird way to end your movie there.
Right. Okay. Well. Thanks for that spoiler, but yeah, that sounds unique.
Well,
Yeah.
That's my way of describing the plot. Well, there's not really a plot. That's the problem with it.
Yeah, he didn't spoil it. I don't think you can spoil that
okay.
movie.
I don't think you can.
It's impossible.
Yeah, it sounds unique. You've definitely got me in, because I've been watching on your channel. I've been watching your Kubrick coverage, And I try to comment on every video that I can. If not, at least give it a thumbs up. And yeah, you've certainly got me interested because I think did you say he made 12 films? 9, 12 films?
He's done like 12 or 13 movies
Right.
in his career. There was a large gap near the end of his career because he became a bit of a perfectionist because he really wanted to make the most technically perfect movies that you can. Because there's like a 7-year gap between The Shining and Full Metal Jacket. And then there was like a 12-year gap between that and what ended up being his last film, Eyes Wide Shut, which was released just shortly after his death.
Get ya. Yeah, it's certainly unique. And I think when I checked the list, I think I've seen like 2 or 3 of his movies, so I've got a lot to catch up on. So I've been enjoying your coverage on them as well, and obviously I'm still trying to catch up on Jason's live stream last night. So, but yeah, guys, sounds like you've been watching some pretty good stuff and some movies I've seen or some that I haven't seen. So we've definitely got a lot of comments to catch up on, and I'm sure you guys, whoever's watching live right now, let me know and let us all know what you've been watching this week, and I'll tell you if I've seen it and we'll comment on it. So we'll get to it. But yeah, first comment we've got here is Jamie, from in the front row. So hey, Jamie. She says, this is going to be a fun stream, friends. Hope I can catch this one live. Well, yeah, hopefully so. Jimmy's in Australia, and I don't think she's on the chat right now, so she's probably flat asleep. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, thanks, Jamie. I've got Viewer Drew saying, hey, what's up? So, hey, Drew. Hope you're doing well. I've got Roddy saying, hello, cheeky lads. Hey, Roddy.
Okay. Roddy.
And then he also says, I'm trying to get a short film off the ground. Any advice?
I haven't made a short film, so I don't know if I'm the right person to give you advice, but I guess I'll just say best of luck to you on that. Actually, I have a friend that I've collabed with. His channel's Blacktastic Media. I got to give a shout out to him. He's got a short film coming out that's actually premiering tonight. I think 9:30 Eastern time. What Have I Done? Which is a werewolf movie, and that's what I plan on watching tonight after I do my stream with Ryan. So I think if you're really passionate, I guess, about whatever you plan on making, I say just go for it.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I've always wanted to. I've never gotten to the point where I've been able to really release anything, but I'd say just follow your passion, like Jacob said, because it's tough, and it's so much fun if that's what you want to do, and you're just gonna have to meet people that give you better advice than us, and just keep chugging along. And I don't know, I would say just conquer every challenge as it comes. That was sort of the advice I wish I could give myself. So
right, yeah, solid advice. Jason, have you got any advice?
I have no idea what to say to that. I'm sorry.
There. Yeah, I'm going to answer this one a little bit vaguely. There's a reason why. But I'm going to just say, just go for it. You know, like what Jacob said, is just if you've got a passion, you've got an idea in mind, just do it, you know, because I know like a lot of big Hollywood movies have been adapted from like a short movie or like a short book or whatever. So, yeah, you got nothing to lose by doing it. Just do it, you know, and yeah, if you do get that off the ground, Roddy, send it to me. I'd love to check it out. But yeah, thanks for the question, man. Good luck with the project. Drew says, out of all the actors cast as superheroes in Marvel movies that aren't in the MCU, who do you think is the best and worst? Okay, so hold on. I'm a bit confused by this. So out of all the actors cast as superheroes in Marvel movies that aren't in the MCU,
so
what's it not in the Marvel? I think it's the Marvel movies that came out before there was an MCU. So I'm thinking maybe like the Spider-Man movies, X-Men movies,
Fantastic
Four,
right?
Daredevil, Ghost Rider.
Right. Okay. Well, so firstly, sorry, Drew, for being dumb. So thank you, Jacob, for clarifying that.
Yeah, I had to read that a couple times.
Yeah, that was tough. Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Right. Okay, but technically, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is MCU. Yeah. So we can't really see him.
Yeah, he is now. And Hugh Jackman's coming back as Wolverine in Deadpool 3, which is now in the MCU.
Right, I was going to say Hugh Jackman, but I can't. So that's
right.
Okay.
He's number one.
Right, okay, so let's think about this, right? So we've got all the X-Men cast that haven't been in a Deadpool movie. We've got Ben Affleck's Daredevil. We've got Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider. We've got the Fantastic Four. Is there any Blade?
Blade. Wesley Snipes. Yep.
Okay. Oh, I don't know. Do you guys have one?
I think I would say if they haven't been in the MCU, my favorite casting would probably be Wesley Snipes as Blade because he's awesome and he owned that role. Worst casting of a superhero, I'm gonna say Jessica Alba as the Invisible Woman in Fantastic Four. I thought she was terrible in both movies.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. See, now I have quite fond memories of those Fantastic Four movies. So, not to say that they're great movies, but I have fond memories, so I can't really say she's the worst. I personally would say the worst was Jennifer Garner as Elektra.
Okay.
Personal opinion.
That's good.
Best? Who knows? I don't have one, I guess. But Harry, how about you?
I'll be honest, I don't remember his name, but the guy who plays Daredevil in the Netflix series.
Oh, Charlie Cox?
Yes. Yeah, he's the best to me.
He's in the MCU now.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
He's in
he cameoed in No Way Home, and he was in She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. I can't keep up with the Disney conquest there. Yeah, I don't know. If I can't choose him, I don't know. I wanted to say Hugh Jackman. I'm not sure. I'm really not. I don't know. Probably the worst, though. I can't think of that either, to be honest, guys. That's hard, because I don't think there's that many, that aren't in the MCU now, as I think about it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, because they're all linking them all together. That's the thing. So it's kind of like eventually all these characters are going to be.
I guess, yeah.
Jason, how about you?
Well, I always thought Kirsten Dunst was terrible in Spider-Man.
Really?
Wow.
That's a
hot take.
That's a hot take.
That is?
I love the chemistry she and Toby had.
I thought it was terrible. I don't know. I thought she's a terrible actress, but that's just me.
Oh.
Yeah, best. I don't know. All the best ones are the ones that you're saying are MCU now.
Right.
So that's hard to say.
Well, I'll tell you who actually could be classed as, I guess, as one of the best ones. John Bernthal as the Punisher.
Oh, I'm watching the Netflix Daredevil series for the first time, and I've just got to John Bernthal as the Punisher.
Yeah,
he is fantastic in that.
Yeah, he's the best Punisher in my opinion.
Yeah, he's the best.
But
isn't he MCU too?
Nah, he's not in any MCU.
He hasn't been in one.
Oh, not yet. Okay.
He could be in the Daredevil reboot series.
You never,
in a couple of years.
You never know.
But we'll see.
I would pick him. I think he's a great Punisher.
Yeah, that's a great pick.
I think he would work well with like Deadpool, but like not with like the not with Daredevil Born Again or Reborn or whatever it's going to be called.
He wouldn't do well with.
Yeah,
I can't see
the Punisher in She-Hulk. Daredevil surprisingly fit well in She-Hulk because I like the chemistry the two actors had. I know people complain they dumbed Daredevil down for the comedy, but I thought it kind of worked because he kind of like eased the tone a little bit. But the rest of the show, no.
What do you think about his costume compared to the original series? I don't like it as much.
No, I like the original costume better. But
Me too.
I thought it was fine. The costume was fine.
Yeah, I haven't seen She-Hulk, and I kind of don't have any intention to either.
You haven't seen She-Hulk?
Dude, I have no reason to watch She-Hulk. It looked terrible.
I thought I heard you criticize it before, I guess, so I figured you saw it.
I've seen clips online of like all the big spoilers and like all these big action scenes. Okay. And I watched that absolutely dreadful idea of a finale.
Right. You're the one that told me of the bad finale. So I was like, oh, you watched it. Okay.
Yeah, because I watched the finale because everyone was like, she breaks into Disney Plus, and I was like,
Yeah.
where is that come from?
Mike's the
I'm
smart
not-
one. He didn't suffer through, and he just got right to the right to
Well,
the big moments.
that finale for me, from what I saw, and again, Jacob can probably comment better because he's seen the full series, but it makes no sense because if she can go into Disney Plus, surely she can be like, right, let's wipe out Infinity War, let's wipe out Endgame, let's wipe out this one. I want this done, and I'm just like, well, if she can do that, then Deadpool is going to come along, sorry, and then he's going to be like, oh, well, let's take out She-Hulk now, let's take out this one. It's just so dumb. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't picture Deadpool doing that because his comedy is a lot smarter to me. Where She-Hulk, when she was doing on the fourth wall, it's like she's talking down to the audience like we're stupid. So that's like the big difference for me. It's like the writing of the two is so drastically different.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. It's like they're trying to make fun of their fans or something. It's like I can't see them going for that again. That didn't look good.
Right. And that trailer when you like Hulk's doing yoga, I was like, they've turned him into a little baby. I was like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm like,
you
give
want
me
somebody
the
who was really
Hulk.
upset. You need. Oh man, don't show that to Rashad. He was angry about
He
that.
hates that.
Yeah, give me the old Hulk. That's what I want to see come back. Not this new one. Terrible. So well, thank you for the question, Drew. Roddy was saying, I have 344 subs and can't find the community tab option. Yeah, it's definitely there. It might be worth opening the YouTube studio on a computer if you can't get it on like your mobile phone. But yeah, it should be there, dude. We've also got Pete saying, evening Mike, Jason, Jacob, and Halum. So hey, Pete. Well,
Evening.
we've got Noran saying, what's up, peeps? Hope all's well with you gorgeous folks. So hey, Noran.
All right, hey.
What's up?
We're getting all the compliments in tonight, guys.
Kiki, gorgeous. Okay.
Right. 4 good-looking fellas keeping you entertained on the Thursday.
All right.
We've got Ryan saying, today must be the day to announce series I saw. They are doing a series for the Santa Claus and also a series for Sausage Party.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for the Santa Claus series earlier today. As someone who grew up watching those original 3 movies with Tim Allen, I'm glad he's getting a show. It looks like it's going to be a good send-off to his character. And I think it has a lot of potential to be a good holiday staple going forward. I think it looks pretty good to me.
Right. Well, I think it's on Netflix. I can't remember what the series is called, but I know Netflix have a series that is specifically like, they get a new season like every Christmas. I've never seen it and I can't remember the name.
No, this Santa Claus series is coming to Disney Plus.
Disney Plus, yeah.
Oh yeah. I know. I'm
It's,
talking about like Netflix have their own series they've made that comes out like every Christmas.
You
like,
talking about the Kurt Russell one?
Oh, the Christmas Chronicles.
Yeah, is that what you're talking about, Mike?
Yeah.
No. So Netflix have a TV series of their own that is like focused on Christmas, and every year they bring out a new season of this Christmas show that they've made.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but I was talking about the series because there was a trilogy of movies called The Santa Claus, which starred Tim Allen. The businessman Scott Calvin, who ends up getting the role of Santa Claus by chance, and he ends up putting on the suit after the original Santa died at his house or whatever, and he slowly ends up turning into Santa Claus. Originally, it was kind of against his will because he didn't want to be Santa Claus, but he eventually warms up to the role and he becomes a really great Santa Claus. The first one is probably my favorite of the 3, but I have a soft spot for the 2 sequels as well. But I saw the trailer for this today, and it looked like it was going to be a good swan song for that character. I'm really excited to check it out.
Yeah. I've never seen any of the Tim Allen Santa Claus movies, so I didn't grow up on them. So I think I might have to watch them for the first time before the series comes out. Is it called the Santa Clauses? Is that right?
Well, the Santa Clauses is the name of the show. The first movie is the Santa Claus, and then there's the 2, and then the third one, which is called the Escape Clause.
Yeah, it's the third one because I think I've seen the DVD of the third one so many times where it's like him, and then on the other side it's like someone like an ice guy or something like that.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, because Jack Frost is the villain in the
Right.
third movie, and he's played by Martin Short, who's
Yeah.
easily the best part in that movie.
Oh, cool. Oh, cool. Okay, cool. I'm gonna have to check it out. Well, Jason, Harry, what's your guys' thoughts on Santa Claus?
I was afraid you're going to ask me that.
Oh no, hot take coming.
You're not a fan, Jason?
No.
No.
The first one's is okay, I guess. It's, again, I'm sorry to say this, it just has some slow parts to it that when they're at the North Pole that just bore the heck out of me. The first half of the movie I think is actually quite better, I think, than the second half, if I remember right. It's been a while since I've watched them. The sequels I think are just not very good. The one thing I like about them is when they get all the other holiday, like the Tooth Fairy, I think, and the Sandman, and Cupid, I think, and right.
Yeah.
Like those scenes are hilarious. Like I love those scenes in the movies, like the way they portray the different holiday figures. Those are pretty good, but yeah, gosh, I hate saying this. I'm just not a fan of the series.
That's fair.
Fair enough.
Yeah, well, Harry, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up watching the first one. I love that movie. But if I'm being honest, I don't really remember it. But I'm excited to hear they're making a series. I didn't know. The pessimist in me though is like I usually don't like the Disney Plus series they've been coming out with, so I just hope they don't ruin it somehow. I don't know, but I don't know. Jacob, you're an expert on Disney, so if you say it, you think it looks good, I trust you. I might check it out.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't look like it's going to be anything spectacular or anything, but it looks like it's going to be good Christmas fun for the whole family.
Yeah, as long as they keep it that, I'm good with that then. Just don't do anything
I thought
crazy.
the trailer was pretty funny, I would have to say. Peyton Manning shows up and is hilarious, I think, in the trailer.
Yeah.
There's a part in the trailer where like Santa Claus announces his retirement, and he's trying to find somebody else to play Santa Claus. And in the teaser trailer, Peyton Manning is one of the people he interviews.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's good. I'm gonna have to check these movies out then before the series, because I think especially with it being that long since Tim Allen did the Santa Claus movies, I can imagine they've made like it as like a passion project, and not one of these like rushed like live action remakes and stuff they've been doing.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
Maybe the biggest franchise Tim Allen's besides Toy Story. I guess Toy Story.
Yeah, that and Toy Story.
And then Santa Claus has been kind of his franchise, I guess I would say.
Yeah, that, or maybe was he Home Improvement as well?
Yeah.
Possibly those two. Then I would say
yeah.
All right, and then what's your guys' thoughts on the Sausage Party series?
I haven't seen the movie. Like that was a hard sell for me when it came out because R-rated comedies aren't really my thing. It's more of an acquired taste, and so to me the movie looked trash to me. So them making a series, I don't think it's gonna win me over either.
Yeah, I'm the same. I did not watch the movie. I think that was Seth Rogen, right? I'm not usually a big fan of his comedy. I don't know why. It just doesn't work for me, so I skipped it. I'm not familiar with it.
Get you. Jason?
Yeah, I remember I watched, like, it was on Netflix one time a while back. And so I was like, okay, I'll check it out. I watched about 10 minutes of it, and I had to turn it off. It was the most filthiest 10 minutes I've ever seen in a movie. That was like, the things they were saying in the first 10 minutes, I was like, this is horrible. I can't take it. My ears just can't take what they're saying. And it was just crude and gross. And I don't know, lots of cursing and sexual stuff. I don't know. I was just like, this is not for me. I just can't watch that movie.
Get you.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think it's one of those where, so I read up on this earlier, and I think it had like a $19 million budget at the time, and I think it went on to make like 143 million. So it was a very successful movie.
Yeah.
And I think it was 2016 that movie came out. I did see it in the cinema. I remember thinking it was all right. I didn't hate the movie. I didn't love the movie. And then when I heard about this series, I was like, definitely a series I'm not bothered about watching at all. I didn't even know it had like a cult following to have a TV series, So
yeah. No, the only thing that gets a laugh out of me when talking about Sausage Party was, I know before the movie came out, there was a theater somewhere that accidentally played the R-rated Red Band trailer in front of a kids movie in 2016. I think kids were gonna see, I think Finding Dory, I think it was, and they accidentally got the R-rated trailer.
Jeez.
Oh boy, I think there were some upset parents on that one.
Oh boy.
I remember hearing about that. Yeah. See, if that was me, I would be laughing personally. But
oh man.
Some kid's life will never be the same again. I don't even know what was in that.
Dad, what are they talking
I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
God.
Probably right over their heads.
Right. Well, thank you for the comment there, Ryan, and I hope that answers your question. We've got a question from Noran, and Noran says, in terms of acting, who was the first actor or actress that you gravitated towards?
For me, I'd say probably Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. That was, I don't know what it was about his performance. I still feel this way. Like, I don't think you could cast anybody else as Wolverine. And there was just something about like those first couple X-Men movies that came out. I remember seeing them as a younger kid, and like it was the first time I was like obsessed with an actor. I just thought a mix of like his performance and how much he looked like Wolverine and all the toys and everything I had. And I don't know, it was just like, I just thought he was so good. And then years later, like seeing him in all these other movies, I still feel that way. I think he's one of the best actors out there. So yeah, that would be my answer, Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, good pick. I agree with you, Harry. Like, I couldn't really see anyone else as Wolverine.
No.
I think they will bring in someone new as Wolverine after this Deadpool movie, personally. Because they've already said in the trailer that Logan died in Logan. So obviously,
this is taking place before that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for me, I would say before kind of teenage years, I would say Tom Hanks for me.
Yeah.
Because I grew up on Toy Story, watched that movie so many times. And I associated him with obviously Woody. And Rowan Atkinson as Mr. Bean. Watched that a lot growing up.
God.
So that's mine. Jacob, how about you?
Well, you've already revealed one of my answers. Tom Hanks, who is my favorite actor of all time. Watching movies like Toy Story and The Polar Express as a kid, I'm like, oh man, this guy's acting is so cool. And eventually I wanted to learn more about Tom Hanks and dive into his filmography. And he hasn't let me down as an actor because he always chooses so many great projects. I guess Tim Allen, is another one too. That was one of the first names that I paid attention to because I loved him as Buzz Lightyear. And I like some of the movies that he was in when I was a kid, like the Santa Claus, and I don't think it's held up as well as an adult for me, but I watched Christmas with the Cranks a lot as a kid, which he was in. And I think the other one I would say was Johnny Depp. That was another one because I watched Pirates of the Caribbean and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, oddly enough, were like my introductions to Johnny Depp. And I just thought he delivered such a strong impact, the way he transformed into these characters to where I became a fan of him at a young age.
Yeah, well, some cool answers, man. I think we're all a little bit different right now. But Jason, how about you?
That's a good question. The one that comes to mind is Jim Carrey, actually. I was a huge Jim Carrey fan in the early 90s. Like, I kind of grew up in the early 90s, kind of when I first started really watching movies, I would say. And Jim Carrey, when he did Ace Ventura, Dumb and Dumber, Mask, Ace Ventura 2, When Nature Calls, that was a great run of comedies at the time. I don't know if they hold up very good anymore, but at the time, like for me, I'd never seen anything like Jim Carrey as far as a physical comedian.
Right.
And the things he was doing, it was just absolutely hilarious. I mean, as I've gotten older, I don't care for him talking out his butt. I don't think it's that funny, but as a kid, that was like funny, I guess. If you know the reference, Ace Ventura.
Yeah.
Dumb and Dumber was like my favorite movie for a long time. Like I saw it in the movie theater, and I feel like there's definitely some because I was like 12 or 13 when I saw it in the movie theater, and there's definitely some risque things in the movie that I don't know if I should have been watching at that age, but definitely it made me laugh quite a bit. I even had a Jim Carrey cake. My mom used to make cakes, and she's a good artist. My mom's really good at drawing and stuff, and so she would make a cake out of something I liked. And I had a Jim Carrey cake when I was a kid because I loved Jim Carrey.
That's cool.
I remember I took my friends out to see The Cable Guy.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Because The Cable Guy came out around my birthday, and I was like, all right, like I want to go see a Jim Carrey movie. And man, I was disappointed. I thought that was like the worst one he made. But then he made a couple good ones like Liar Liar after that, and Truman Show was great. Anyway, so 90s was a great decade for him. Like you said, Tom Hanks, he was one of my favorites of the 90s. Even though his movie's a little more mature for me as a kid. I mean, you got League of Their Own, Forrest Gump. I saw in the theater again. I was probably a little young to watch some of those scenes where I'm like, oh my. Apollo 13, loved Apollo 13, saw that in theater. Loved That Thing You Do, I thought was great. Of course, I didn't see Saving Private Ryan in the theater, but obviously that was a big one for him. But Toy Story, of course, was absolutely amazing. Loved Toy Story. So 90s was, to me, the Jim Carrey, Tom Hanks decade, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. I think he had like a solid run, so did Jim Carrey as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's an awesome question. Yeah, so thanks, Noran, and I like hearing everyone's opinions as well, and just like kind of like the different actors and actresses and stuff we grew up on. And we've got another kind of similar-ish question in a way, because we've got Adam from What the Gym. So firstly, hi Adam, hope you're doing well. He says, "Hey guys, it's great to see Jason back on again."
Yeah.
He says, "What do you think is the most overrated and/or overrated film you've seen? By the way, I've not seen Alien. I doubt I ever will."
I wonder if he means overrated.
You're missing out.
Underrated.
So what do you think is the most overrated and/or overrated film you've seen? Yeah. All right. So what's the most overrated film we've seen? I've got two examples top of mind personally. I don't know if you guys have examples first though.
Yeah, I
got one. I know one. I'm gonna get roasted for this, but I've never been a fan of this movie, The Princess Bride.
Never seen.
Yeah, I think it's one where you had to watch it at a certain age to really get into it. Like,
yeah,
a lot of people grew up watching that movie and they have a certain fondness for it. Well, I never watched that as a kid. I first watched it as a teenager, and I've seen the film twice in my life. Once as a teenager, once as an adult, and the two times I've watched it, I just don't get the movie personally. Now, there's good performances in that movie. There's a good action scene in there. There's some, I think, the iconic moments. I like the moments in parts, the inconceivables and the "My name is Diego, you killed my father, prepare to die." I like those moments, but I don't know. Just most of the comedy just did not land for me. It was pretty much cringe throughout. It felt more like the movie didn't know whether it wanted to be a true like fantasy fairy tale story or it was trying to be a satire, because there was a lot of these modern references that kept popping in the movie, and it just felt off to me. And I really disliked the princess character. I thought she was so annoying. She just complained all the time, and she just stands there like, "Where's Wesley? I want my Wesley. Wesley needs to come for me." I'm like, how about you do your thing? How about you escape and find Wesley since Wesley is disposed at the moment? Don't just stand there and do nothing. Come on now.
Wow, okay. You got me intrigued with Princess Bride. Yeah, I've never seen it.
I'm not a fan of The Princess Bride. I know I'm like the one person who doesn't like it.
I love Princess Bride. That's
I
a
do
great
too.
movie.
Yeah,
I
I
love
know.
that
I
movie.
made your '80s ranking. I saw.
Yeah, if you saw my top 10 '80s movies, yeah, it was in my top 10. I don't
Wow.
know that ending. It gets. I said in my stream. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too sentimental, but that ending where the grand now, of course, gosh, Mike hadn't seen this one. I'm spoiling this for him.
Yeah.
But when the grandson says, which this will make no sense to you, Mike, but the grandson says to the grandpa, "You can come back tomorrow to read me the story," and the grandpa says, "As you wish." Like I'm like, oh man, I get tears. But yeah,
Yeah, me too.
Oh wow. Okay.
good. All right.
Yeah, it's a movie you laugh at, and it hits every beat. It's perfect. I love that movie. But it's okay, Jacob. I get it.
Yeah.
You're not the first person to say that, Jacob. I know other people.
Yeah,
that
I've heard that. Yeah.
Oh man, I've shared this opinion on like Letterboxd and Twitter, and so many comments were roasting me on that. They're like, "What? You're not human if you don't like this movie."
I kind of know what you mean though about it not knowing what it wants to be. I
Hmm.
used to feel that way. Like it's almost like it doesn't know if it wants to be a comedy or what like it's trying to get you to feel, but for some reason as I've watched it and I've gotten older, I've actually had the opposite thing happen where I'm like I appreciate it more. So I don't know.
Hmm.
It's a weird thing.
Yeah, I'm quite curious about it. Well, Harry, I know you were going to say before. So, what do you think's your overrated movie?
The one I have to go with is A Star Is Born, with Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. I hate that movie. I really hate that
okay.
movie. People loved it. It was this, big movie everyone loved. I don't like any characters in it. For some reason, like when I watch it, I feel like I'm really supposed to care about both of their characters, and I don't. I think they're just both made to be sort of unlikable. For some reason, I don't get the whole attachment to them. And then little things like Bradley Cooper's accent to me is just so bad in that movie. It like hurts my ears to even listen to it.
Yeah.
To be honest, the first time I heard it, I thought he was kidding or something. Like I thought it was like a joke. uh, but to be fair, I get the emotional parts, but I think I would have needed to be more connected to those characters to get to where it wanted me to get to. So, yeah, not a fan of that movie. I really hate it, and it's weird because like I love Bradley Cooper in almost every other movie. Like I've watched Silver Linings Playbook like a million times. I love that movie. Limitless, Hangover. Like he's good in everything to me, but for some reason, I don't know what was going on in that movie for me. So,
Yeah, I can respect that. I haven't seen it since theaters, and I thought the film was terrific. As far as your complaint about, I think the characters being unlikable, I think the movie was trying to show, I think, the dark side, I think, of the music industry, and that's why the characters were in that spot because of what they've had to go through because of that. And so that didn't bother me as much because these characters had to pretty much fight their demons. And I enjoyed the romance element. The soundtrack is what makes the movie great, in my opinion. Lady Gaga, Bradley Cooper. Like, I did not know Bradley Cooper could sing watching the movie. And I thought he was fantastic, especially on the musical side of the movie. I think my only real negative of the movie was I could not buy Bradley Cooper and Sam Elliott as brothers because of the massive age difference. Like Sam Elliott looks like he's like old enough to be his dad.
Yeah.
that was a
funny.
weird casting choice, but other than that, I think the movie's great.
I agree 100% with Harry. I thought it was a terrible movie.
Nice. Got someone else. Yes.
Bradley Cooper was terrible. Lady Gaga was good. I think she actually can act. That's surprising. Maybe not surprising, but she's pretty good. The song "Shallow" was a great song. Deserved the Oscar. I thought Sam Elliott should deserve the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. I thought he gave a great performance in the movie.
Yeah.
But the ending, I hate the ending so much. If you know anything about me, I like happy endings. This does not have a happy ending, and so I hated it. Yeah.
I think that's a problem with like every version of the story because I think I've seen 2 out of the 4 versions. I've seen the '50s one as well, with Judy Garland, and I think they all end the same.
Yeah, they
So if
do.
you don't like one movie's ending, I think you're gonna dislike all of them because of that.
Yeah, pretty much.
But all I'll say, Jason, is so I wrote a book, right? And Jacob's read the book.
You wrote a book?
Yeah. And
Oh.
and every kind of project that I do is I don't like a happy ending with my projects. I always go down the darker path. So for me, I didn't mind the darker ending of A Star Is Born.
Yeah,
It might just be me.
What's wrong?
And, sometimes it lets the emotions ring out too. So to me, it's kind of hit and miss depending on how the story is told. Like some movies warrant a happy ending, and some movies, depending on where it takes the story and what themes it tries to address, sometimes a darker ending is needed to address how serious the situation is. And I feel like A Star Is Born, I think, executed that.
Well, like for me, I don't have the same problem as Jason because I recently watched Leaving Las Vegas with Nicolas Cage and Elizabeth Shue. That has a very sad and brutal ending, but I love that ending because it makes sense and they attach you to those characters, and I got what they're both going through up to that point. So for me, it's like, okay, the payoff and the, like you said, letting the emotions kind of ring out there really worked. And then with A Star Is Born, just because I didn't care, it didn't land. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. So I do like a dark ending. It just has to work, I guess.
Get you. Well, I think in this stream we're kind of like 2 versus 2 because I'm with Jacob on this one. I like the movie,
Okay.
but I've only seen it once in the cinema as well, so I haven't seen it for since it came out, which was it 2017, 2018, I'd like to say.
18.
Yeah, 18.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, I might think a bit differently on it now. I might love it more. I can't remember. But yeah, I think Star Is Born. That's a good choice. Jacob said his. Harry's gone his. Jason, what about you?
Oh man, there's so many. I'm trying to think of what one I should pick. Because 2001: Space Odyssey was my first pick, but we kind of talked about that already. And so another movie I was thinking of is a movie that won Best Picture back in 2003, I believe, no, 2004, I think, called $1 Million Baby. It was a Clint Eastwood movie, Hilary Swank, Morgan Freeman. Again, I hate the ending. The ending is just I was watching that movie I'm kind of with the movie. The performances are really good, all deserving Oscars and all that. And then that ending just totally killed the movie, and I was just like, oh, I hate this movie now. Like that was the worst ending to a movie, one of the worst endings to a movie I've ever seen. And again, it was just a very sad ending, and I was just like, I want to be happy. I'm sorry, guys. I go to the movies. My life is sad. I go to the movies so I can be happy. That's my opinion.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah.
And I mean that, dude.
Yeah, that one, I definitely see where you're coming from on that. For me, it was one of those cases where most of $1 Million Baby I thought was just your generic underdog sports movie, and it wasn't really standing out. But then the dark ending happened. I'm like, whoa, I'm not used to this. And the dark ending, call me crazy, but the dark ending kind of elevated the movie a little bit because I didn't see it coming. And I actually appreciated the movie because of that. I don't know if I liked the payoff of what Clint Eastwood's character does at the end. I thought that was a little off-putting.
There's no point to it.
It was a little off-putting what he does. I'll give you that. I think you could have done something better when the dark ending happens, but I didn't think it was a bad movie. I like the performances, and the performances were good. It was well directed. There was some interesting stuff in it, but I don't know if it was like Clint Eastwood's best movie though.
I've not seen that one, but I like Gran Torino by Eastwood.
Oh, that's a good
different.
one.
I know it's a different subject. That's not an overrated one, but that's just okay. So here's a couple. Well, we've got one in the commentary which I think I agree with about the overrated movie, and it's from Off the Cover, and they say Napoleon Dynamite. And
I haven't seen that one.
I haven't seen it either.
I agree. It's overrated.
Yeah, I mean, we've got Joe here. He says, agree with the above comment. Horrendous. I've got Kim Jong-un says, I also agree. Napoleon Dynamite is cringy, unfunny film. In my opinion, I think the director's next film, Nacho Libre, is way more entertaining. 100% agree.
It's been years since I've seen Nacho Libre. And as a kid, when it came out, I thought it was hilarious. I don't know if I feel that way now.
It's terrible, I think, but
It used to be the only thing on Netflix like years ago. I don't know if you guys remember that, but that's you know what I'm talking about. Like, I used to watch it just out of necessity. At a certain point, I'd watched Nacho Libre so many times.
Oh man, I remember, and somewhere in this box right here is where I keep all my old cinema tickets. Nacho Libre cinema ticket will be in there when I check it out. I remember enjoying that movie. I haven't watched it in years, but yeah. Okay, so my opinion on this question, you guys are probably going to hate me for this or disagree with this. So two films come to mind. First one is The Lost Boys for me.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, I'm safe for that one for now. I'll not say anything until you guys have seen it. And the second one is Goodfellas.
That's a hot take right there. Wow.
Right.
Me and Rashad are going to team up against you on that one. We need to have a talk.
I just remember seeing the movie and I was like, a lot of people were like, oh, it's a great gangster movie. And don't get me wrong, it's a fantastic cast and stuff, but I just found it boring. I found myself nearly falling asleep at the movie. But maybe I need to rewatch it. It's been years. But
I guess it depends on how you are on the gangster genre. Because if it's not your thing,
Right.
I can see it boring you. But I've seen the film, and I think it's one of the best gangster movies. It's well directed. The dialogue is very engaging, very well paced for an extended movie. I love the performances: Ray Liotta, De Niro, Joe Pesci, who I think he won an Oscar, if I'm not mistaken, for Goodfellas. He was awesome in the movie. Terrific soundtrack, very engaging story. It's one of the best in its genre and one of Scorsese's best.
Do you usually like gangster movies, Mike, or are they not your thing?
Yeah. I love any kind of movie. Like, I'll give anything a go. I mean, heck, I watched Titan tonight. And if you research that movie, that's out there. That's what I'll say. I just think it was boring.
Mike, I agree with you.
Wow.
Thank you.
I'm not a fan of Goodfellas. But I'm not a fan of gangster movies either, so...
Do any of you guys like The Godfather by any chance?
I do like The Godfather.
Never seen it.
We're on good terms.
Yeah. The Godfather, I don't know, it works for me. The acting is just so good in that movie. And ultimately, I kind of like Mike, the Al Pacino character, Michael. Goodfellas, I didn't really like any of the characters, I guess, and I just could not get on board with anybody. But yeah.
So yeah, again, we're divided in this stream. We've got a couple of comments here, and we've got quite a few to catch up on, but I'm just going to show a couple that's relating to what we've just been talking about. Playtendo says, for me, I think The Goonies is a bit overrated. Yeah, I like the movie.
Disagree there. It's a good movie. It's not a great movie.
Yeah,
it's a good 80s film.
Yeah. Again, I think it's good. Like you said, Chico, I think it's a good 80s movie for sure. I just think it is a bit overrated, though. You know. And then we've also got Joe saying, I respect Jason's opinions on wanting a happy ending, but 99% of all movies always have a happy ending and just makes it predictable. So I like a dark ending every now and then. Absolutely. I think that's a fair comment. And Pete says, after Titan, you'll never look at the car the same way again. Yeah. It's very out there, that's all I'll say. Tim Jong says, I think most superhero films are incredibly overhyped and overrated. The two that I always think of would be the first Avengers movie and Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Oh, those are two that he finds overrated?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess I can see on Zack Snyder's Justice League, because Zack
Yeah.
Snyder can
Yeah.
be pretty divisive, but
Yeah.
the Avengers, oh man, that's a good movie.
Yeah.
It was like the first time they ever brought together so many characters so perfectly like that.
Yeah.
It tied
Right.
it up so well. I don't know. Yeah, can't agree
Yeah.
on that, but with the Justice League, I'm with you on that. It's
Yeah.
pretty divisive.
For the record, I like both movies, but I'm just saying I can see
Me
the
too.
Zack Snyder one being divisive.
Yeah.
Right. I think like with that one, I think I agree with you guys a bit about Zack Snyder's Justice League. I think with the first Avengers, like it's a great movie and all. Don't get me wrong, and for the time, as Harry said, like getting them all together was like a moment you're like, wow, I can't believe this is happening. But I think it's the fact of like now that since we've come from that point to like now with like Avengers, Endgame, Infinity War, it does make that film look kind of minuscule as such for me
That's true.
personally.
But yeah, I can see that. Like the first movie looks small scale in comparison to Infinity War and Endgame, where there's more characters, higher stakes. But I still have a soft spot for the first movie because it was the first big crossover they did, and it's still one of the best written films in the MCU. I love a lot of the dialogue in that movie, and it's cool seeing the characters together. And the Battle of New York is still pretty awesome.
So Tim adds a little bit further. He says, "I'm sorry, I find the first 40 minutes of Avengers boring." He said, "It's not when aliens invade New York when the movie gets fun."
Fair enough.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, the first part is almost like an origin story because we're getting all the characters together. So that I can see that being kind of more slow moving. But that last 30 minutes is just incredible. So I guess that elevates the movie for me. But yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's an interesting one. But firstly, just also thank you to Adam for the question. We've also got Ryan saying, "Don't watch Terrifier," and then Jason, that's got some.
Oh, I was listening. I was listening to Mike and Rashad talk about Terrifier.
Yeah.
And you started talking about some of the kills, and I got off the stream. I couldn't listen to it anymore. I was like, okay, I'm done. Like, just hearing Mike talk about it, I was like, I can't handle it. But yeah.
Well, let's just say we'll terrify you too. You're not going to eat mashed potato again.
I've heard stories of apparently people in the theater passing out and throwing up. When seeing Terrifier 2.
Yeah,
so that must be one intense movie.
So my comments on that is I can see it happening, but it depends on your threshold for body horror. Like if you're not a fan of body horror at all, or you've never seen one, and maybe say you're a bit faint at the sight of blood, you probably would pass out. It's pretty gory.
Yeah.
But again, it depends on what you can handle, I guess. But yeah, I can't see Jason ever watching Terrifier.
Does it have an ending? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I've got Joe saying, "Evening, guys. Hope you're all doing well." Mike looking like Jake Gyllenhaal. Well, the budget just messed it.
I can see the comparison.
That's great.
Right. And then it also says, "What was everyone's favorite kids channel growing up? Disney, Nickelodeon, or Cartoon Network?"
It's an easy one for me. It's so obvious if you see my channel, but it's Disney. I watched a lot of Disney growing up. We had on cable, we had Disney Channel and Toon Disney, which it was at the time. It's not a channel anymore, but I watched a lot of cartoons on Toon Disney when I was a kid. There was House of Mouse, Kim Possible, The Proud Family, American Dragon, Jake Long. So many awesome cartoons in my childhood that even though I haven't seen them in a good while, I still have fondness of them when I think back on the cartoons I used to watch. And even some of the Disney Channel in general, I have a soft spot for the High School Musical movies, which I got picked on as a kid for liking the High School Musical movies, because normally you don't hear guys in school talking about, hey, I like musical movies where characters break out in song. People either think you're a weirdo or you're gay, which I'm neither of those, but I still like the movies as a kid, and they, even though as cheesy as they are, they still hold up for me now.
Yeah. Got to agree, Jacob. Yeah, I love High School Musical. and a bit like you know, I was in school. Like I remember those movies coming out when I was in school, and I liked them, but you couldn't go openly out and be like, you know, did you see High School Musical at the weekend? Because you'd get the kids and be like, gay.
Yep.
That was the culture back then, though. You know, that's no offense to anyone. That was generally what it was like back then. So yeah, for me, I'm gonna go Nickelodeon. Simply because I used to watch a bit of Disney Channel. I used to watch Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network. Nickelodeon had like Hey Arnold, for example. I used to watch like Keenan and Kel, Drake and Josh. I used to watch like Nickelodeon like all the time. Harry, how about you?
Yeah, Nickelodeon probably number one. SpongeBob, Drake and Josh, constantly watching those two. But then I would go over to Cartoon Network, watch Johnny Bravo, Dexter's Lab, Courage the Cowardly Dog. Those were my favorite. Other than that, I did like Disney, but I don't know. I was more into the Disney movies, so I didn't really watch Disney Channel too much. But yeah, Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network for me were my two big ones.
Good, yeah, man. Some good shows, like, and just loads of throwbacks, like Johnny Bravo and Dexter's Lab and stuff.
Yeah,
Powerpuff Girls as well.
Yeah, and by the way, I am a closet fan of High School Musical as well. So you know.
I did reviews of the High School Musical movies on Celebrating Disney, so more people know I'm a fan of them.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah, same here. I remember joining Anthony Perez for the High School Musical ones, and watched them again, like maybe at the beginning of this year. I can't remember when. And the one thing that I find so funny is in the second movie, and just Zac Efron when he's singing "Bet on It," which, by the way, best song in that movie. Is he's just looking into the golf course and he's singing on the golf course. He looks in the water. It's like crystal clear water, and you can see his full reflection in the water. Crystal clear. I was like, someone clearly put him in that water so you could see. That's funny. Jason, how about you?
Man, I feel so old talking to you guys. Gosh. I don't know if Disney, Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network had channels when I was a kid. I don't remember. I think I'm too old.
Oh wow.
Wow.
I'm not sure when they started, to be honest.
I don't remember that as a kid.
I think a lot of them started in the 90s, I'd like to say.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm like, I don't know. I remember just watching the regular channels like NBC, ABC on Saturday mornings. They used to always have cartoons on Saturday mornings. So I grew up with that. You know, I used to come home after school and watch like Saved by the Bell was like one of my shows as a kid. You know, I used to watch Batman animated series and Spider-Man animated series and X-Men animated series were like my favorites as a kid. And that was probably early 90s, probably maybe when all that was going on is my guess. So High School Musical, I think I was already, I don't know if I was in high school at that point or in college. So I totally missed on High School Musical. My sister, who's 10 years younger, today's my sister's birthday.
Birthday.
Happy birthday.
She's 10 years younger than me, my younger sister, Emily, and she's 29. And so she grew up with High School Musical and stuff like that. And so I kind of knew about them through her, but I definitely never watched them on my own because I wanted to watch them, you know. That kind of stuff. And all the stuff you guys talk about, that's the stuff my sister watched. So I know him only because I had a sister that was young. And I was like, okay. So I watched like SpongeBob because she watched it, or Blue's Clues, or Rugrats, or whatever. Jake and Josh, I think he said. I remember that. Sweet Life with Zach and Cody.
Right.
That's So Raven. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of naming stuff, but
dude, I watched them.
That's all my sister. Yeah, that's what my sister watched. So I kind of knew them through her, but I would never watch them myself. But yeah, I'm just too old.
Oh, good. Josie and Jason the dinosaur.
Yeah.
Poor Jason.
I know.
Well, hey, Jason, to be fair, I used to watch Saved by the Bell as well. So, yeah. I think it's because Saved by the Bell originally wasn't on Nickelodeon. I think it was like ABC or NBC or something like that, and then it got bought onto like Nickelodeon.
Okay.
So yeah. So, dude, you're probably right. They probably weren't before then. You know. So
yeah, I used to watch back in my day. There was a thing called TGIF on Fridays. Thank God it's Friday. And I used to watch Family Matters, Step by Step, Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Those were like the big shows, and I loved those shows as a kid.
Nice. Yeah. Love Sabrina Teenage Witch as well.
Okay.
Yeah, dude. Got a lot of them. I got Lego News saying, evening, gentlemen. Digging the glasses mic suit you well. Well, thanks, man. And yeah, hello, welcome to the channel as always. Yeah, as I said before, I was meant to wear glasses like all the time for computers and stuff. I just choose not to for streams. But yeah, here we go. We've also got Tim. I saw showed a couple of his comments earlier, but he's like, hey, glad to join my first ever talks. Question is, what are your go-to horror movies for Halloween?
Easy answer for me. The last few years, I love watching John Carpenter's Halloween on Halloween. That is such a classic horror movie. I know there's a lot of sequels and remakes that have come out since, and a lot of them that I have seen are not really that good. But the first movie is still a classic. I love what John Carpenter brought to the table in the world of horror movies. And it's one of the most inviting movies to watch, too, especially around this time of year. Because when you watch the movie and you see the cinematography and the location, it screams fall. It screams Halloween. And I just love watching the movie for the aesthetic alone. But then there's other movies I like watching around this time. Being a Disney fan, I love watching The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad, most notably for the Legend of Sleepy Hollow segment. That's a fantastic segment to watch around Halloween with the whole Headless Horseman. I also love watching Ghostbusters around Halloween. It's if you want like a good lighthearted comedy to watch around this time of year, and you got ghosts in the background. And then as a kid, and I still love watching it to this day, is It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. That's one I have to watch every Halloween because it's such a classic holiday staple. Those would be my picks. Even though there's only one true horror movie that's on the list, but those are just stuff I like watching.
Yeah. Hey, well, man, that's cool. Cool list. At least you've got that tradition of watching stuff every year. I've got an answer to this, but Harry, do you watch any go-to Halloween like movies around this time?
Yeah, I think every year my fiance and I, probably for 5-6 years in a row now, have watched The Shining. It's just the perfect, most quintessential movie. We have to always watch it. It's probably the only horror movie for me that I can watch every year, and it never gets old. It probably gets a little better every single time. I just love that movie. And it still gives me that vibe it gave me the first time I watched it. I love The Shining. So
yeah, great movie.
Good choice.
Yeah. I don't know if I've got it. Yeah. Jason, do you want to go next? And I'm going to just quickly try grab something and show you guys.
Well, if you've listened to me at all, I don't have a go-to horror movie. Halloween. I don't have a go-to movie really for Halloween. I don't really think about Halloween. I don't know. It's not a holiday I care about at all. I don't have any kids, and I don't go to parties or trick or treat. I'm working on Halloween. I mean, I just go to work, so it's just another day to me. Nothing special about Halloween at all, really. I will say I watched Ernest Scared Stupid this month because I have an emotional attachment to the movie, and I talked about it on my channel. Because today, October 27th, 2002, my friend died in a car wreck that I went to school with. So today is the 20th anniversary of her death, Megan, and I did a whole video on her. Anyway, so it's kind of an emotional day for me because of that. But yeah,
man, I remember seeing that video, and I was nearly in tears at the end of it.
Yeah,
dude, yeah. I just appreciate you sharing that story though. About Ernest Saves. I haven't even heard that movie.
Yeah. I've only seen Ernest Saves Christmas, and to me, it was too hokey for me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's not a good movie, but I saw it when I was 8 years old.
I think if you were a kid, the Ernest movies were like, amazing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I loved Ernest when I was a kid, but yeah. It doesn't work really well anymore, but I still have an emotional attachment to that movie, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about when you watch it, what you associate it with. That's 90% of the movies, I think, for everybody.
Yeah.
Right. So one thing I was just trying to grab before when I went away there is Harry was mentioning about The Shining. I recently went to a horror convention at the weekend, and I managed to meet the Shining twins and got them a signed
Ooh.
Funko.
Oh, that is
Yeah,
awesome.
That's awesome.
But just wanted to show
Wow.
that because I also love the Shining as well.
And
I
it looks
also
like you
picked,
got some autographs on that box.
yeah. So I'm at the Louise and Lisa Burns. Don't know if you guys can see that.
Oh, wow, man. I'm jealous.
Are those the ones who played the twins?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that was
Leave
pretty
it for
awesome.
Spikey.
They're not really twins, right?
No, they are, yeah.
Oh, they are. Okay, I thought
Oh.
I heard they weren't. Maybe I'm.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're twins, but they looked very similar in real life, so I think so.
There's
I'm
a
actually
Disney. There's a Disney Plus show called Cars on the Road. It's a Cars. I don't know if you've seen that, Jacob, but
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Never heard of it.
yeah, it's the movie Cars.
Yeah.
They're like 10-minute episodes, anyways, and it's pretty good. They have a whole Shining episode where they
Oh.
Lightning McQueen and Mater, they have to stay the night at this hotel, and it ends up being like a haunted hotel. And he goes to the mirror, and in the movie Shining, it says red rum.
Yeah.
Well, in this show, it says race car, but race car spelled the same way backwards. So it's race car backwards, but it's race car. And he goes to the.
Oh, go ahead.
It's hilarious. And he goes to the elevator, and there's two twin cars there, saying hello. And instead of blood coming out of the elevator, antifreeze comes out of the elevator, and he runs away from antifreeze. Anyway, I just said it was a funny episode.
I almost thought because Mater's catchphrase is "Dad gum." I thought Red Rum was instead going to be "Dad gum." Yeah, Dad gum.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to say that, but
No, that's cool. I didn't know about
funny.
that.
I interrupted you, Mike.
No, don't worry, man. I thought that was a cool story. I've never heard of that. This is different. I don't have a go-to Halloween horror movie. I never have. What I will say is for the past 3 years, I've been watching different Halloween movies every Halloween, like first-time watchers. So 2000, last year, An American Werewolf in London. I watched that one for the first time. That was awesome. The Fly with Jeff Goldblum. Watched that for the first time. Trick or Treat as well. Those 3 I watched. This year I'm going to be watching the Blair Witch Project for the first time. And Rec as well, or REC, however you say it. Yeah. And then I think the year before that I watched Dawn of the Dead, like George A. Romero's version, and Driller Killer. Have you guys heard of Driller Killer?
Yeah.
No.
So I've been watching like brand new ones every year, so that's kind of my, I guess, tradition as such at the moment.
That's cool.
Yeah, bit different, I guess. But I like that you guys actually have movies you watch every Halloween, except Jason watching the Cars version of The Shining.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, that's awesome, though. Okay, Roddy says here, rewatched Halloween Ends today, made me want to burn down Universal Studios.
Oh.
I also saw
Hopefully in your head.
Right, excellent movie. Saw Bodies. It annoyed me.
Ooh.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So I've got a couple of thoughts in this. I'm gonna be honest. I haven't watched Harry's review fully yet of Halloween Ends. I started watching it, but I didn't get a chance to finish it. So, Harry, what did you think of Halloween Ends?
I hate that movie. I think I was a little bit too fair to it, to be honest, in my review. Like, as it's sort of processed, I'm like, oh, that was worse than I even said in my review. But yeah, I think it was really just a waste of what could have been a pretty good trilogy. So yeah, just for a variety of reasons, I won't spoil anything, but I'm not a fan.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I did a full spoiler review as well. So, like Harry, I will say that I wasn't a fan of the movie either. Jacob, have you seen that one yet?
I haven't gotten around to see Halloween Ends. Of course, I haven't seen Halloween Kills. I've only seen the 2018 one. But when the 2018 one came out, I was like, this movie was so good. It was a good ending right there that I don't think it warranted a trilogy. And based on the reactions that I've seen for both Kills and Ends, I'm like, I think I might have been right on that. It sounded like the movie, the trilogy sucks as a whole. We should just stuck to the one movie.
Mm. Yeah. I mean, I know Jason probably hasn't seen them.
Do I need to see the other 10 before I see this one? Is my question.
The 2018 is actually, it erases all of the continuity of the sequels, and it's a direct continuation to the original set 40 years later.
But
And that. Go ahead, Jason. Sorry.
Laura, is it Laura that's in it?
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee
is
Curtis,
in
but
it
she's
as
in
Laurie
a bunch of
Strode.
them. Sure. So that's connected
Yeah.
then?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was
Jason,
the.
I would say don't waste your time.
Yeah.
What tries
Yeah,
to be instead? Let us
The
know.
original Halloween is still the best.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
definitely. And have any of you guys seen Bodies?
Nah, I haven't seen that.
No, it looked like a really different A24 film, so I skipped that one.
Mm. Yeah, I am. So I've seen Bodies, and I mean, I've got a love-hate relationship with A24 as it is. But I went to this one, I was like, oh, it looks different to what they've done, and it is different to like movies like Men and stuff like that. But it's basically like a social commentary on like Gen Z as such and social media. But I didn't like the movie at all. What definitely my top 10 of the worst of the year.
Wow.
But that might just be me. That's all I can say.
And didn't you see Pearl with Perez?
Yeah, so Pearl with Perez and Richard, and I hadn't seen X, so Pearl was my introduction to like that kind of new trilogy. And I actually quite liked Pearl. I thought it was a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
So excellent is a play on words, isn't it?
Right.
Very good, Rody.
Right. Right, well, the next comment is the viewer Drew says, tell me if you guys agree Ben Affleck wasn't that bad as Daredevil.
I haven't seen Daredevil in quite a while, and to me, he didn't stand out as Daredevil. I thought he was kind of a miscast when I saw it years ago. Obviously, Ben Affleck has gone on to be a great actor. I love his iteration of Batman, but I didn't really care for the Daredevil movie when I saw it, so I don't think he was that good of a casting for that one.
Even as a kid, I think when I saw it, I didn't like him being cast as Daredevil. Just something about it didn't work for me. So
I don't think anybody came out good in that movie, in my opinion. But
I love Michael Clark Duncan as Kingpin. I thought he was awesome in that movie. He was like the one actor to me that like went in circles around everybody else because he was that good of an actor, and he elevated the material. But yeah, the movie was just not good. It didn't mix the camp and the dark elements well. I mean, you got like Colin Farrell playing a character named Bullseye who just felt like he was in the wrong movie.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so I remember a couple of years ago, Absolute Maximum, I actually collabed with Anthony Perez on his channel to review this movie, and I hadn't seen it since like 2005, I think it was. And I don't think the movie was that bad. Don't get me wrong, it's not a great movie by any stretch of the imagination. It was a kind of combination of it belongs in 2000s era, because you'd have like a scene and be like Limp Bizkit or something playing, like while that kind of one, so like Evanescence as such playing, and like that kind of music.
Yeah.
I just don't like. I agree with Jacob though. I don't think he did anything to stand out, but at the same time, I think it's what the script he was given and that timepiece that movie was set in. I think the main movie to come out of that kind of timepiece set in near that was Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
Yeah. And that movie, as campy as it is, I think that movie holds up better because Sam Raimi knew what story he was telling, and he embraced the goofiness while still telling a great story. And that movie works compared to Daredevil, which did not know what it was trying to do tonally.
Right. Those Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies are some of my absolute favorites ones. Definitely my favorite Spider-Man. So thanks for the question, Drew. We've also got Pete saying, are you looking forward to the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special?
Yes, absolutely. The trailer sold me just because of Kevin Bacon being in it.
Yeah. Is that because of Footloose? I was trying to figure out what the connection was.
Oh, well, throughout the Guardians movies, Star-Lord's favorite movie as a kid was Footloose.
Footloose.
So he kept
Yeah.
referencing Kevin Bacon and Footloose as a whole. And
Yeah.
so it's kind of, so to me, it's just funny that the Guardians are going to go to Earth to kidnap Kevin Bacon and give it to Star-Lord as a Christmas present.
Yeah, I was a little confused by that, but then I was like, oh, I think it's because of Footloose, but that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. And what, Harry, are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, I'm excited. I have to say one of the funniest lines from Infinity War is when Star-Lord says, I'm gonna butcher it, Jason. You might know better, but he says something like, "Footloose is, it's the best movie ever made," or something like that, and you just hear Tom Holland go, "I don't think it ever was."
It never was.
Never was.
Oh, I'm thinking of that.
And I agree with Tom.
Yeah.
And Star-Lord's like, what?
Yeah, but you hear it in the background, like the camera's off of them at that point, but it's so funny. I love it.
That's such a great, scene.
Yeah.
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 And that was such a good time, a good day that trailer dropped too, especially for James Gunn, because the trailer dropped for that, and on the same day he got promoted to like head of DC Studios, which just came out of nowhere. And I'm just so happy for James Gunn at the moment because I think he's done so many good projects, and I'm really excited what he's going to be now that he's running DC. I think there's going to be a more consistent leadership with somebody like James Gunn at the helm, who's very passionate about comic book characters based on what he's done with Guardians and over on the DC side with the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker. I'm really excited to see what's going to come of this.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting choice to have him as like one of the kind of big chairmans as such, and like because I know it's him and another guy. I think.
Yeah, Peter Safran, I think is the other guy's name.
Okay.
Not as familiar with him, but I looked him up. Apparently, he's done producing works on other DC movies. So
Okay.
I think he's pretty knowledgeable on the characters as well.
Right.
I think they've hired him to do the business side and James Gunn for the more creative side. So it sounds like it's going to be a good partnership.
That's exciting. Cool.
They probably need a new direction anyways, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's going to be interesting because especially with The Rock as Black Adam, like I think especially like the power of like his name and especially with like his own production company like 7 Bucks Production, like he's going to bring a lot to DC. And I can't ruin the end credit scene of Black Adam for you guys who haven't seen it or seen like a leak of it.
I've seen the movie already, and that end credit scene was so awesome that it made me like super hyped for the future of DC. That's all I'll say here. I think, especially now that James Gunn is now CEO, mixed with some of the recent announcements, there might be a chance that DC might overtake Marvel.
I hope so.
Me too.
Yeah, let's see.
Well, I've always preferred DC over Marvel. I just kind of hope, for me personally, I would love somehow if they could connect in Robert Pattinson's Batman and Joaquin Phoenix's Joker into like one big universe. Make if they're going to do that, obviously make all the other characters adjust to like the higher age rating. I think that could be like a cool movie because I think Zack Snyder's Justice League got a higher age rating if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it got an R rating.
Yeah, and it worked well.
So I'm confused about DC then. You have the Batman is different than Justice League because Justice League has a Ben Affleck as Batman in that universe, and this other Batman with Robert Pattinson, whatever, is a totally different DC universe. Or am I missing?
Yeah. The Robert Pattinson Batman is in its own standalone universe. Then you have the main DC universe.
What's going on?
And then I think Joaquin Phoenix's Joker is in a different universe.
Yeah, and then you have the Joker is a different universe. Yeah, there's Joaquin Phoenix Joker. There's what's the other Joker?
Jared Leto.
Jared Leto Joker is still there, I think. And then we got another Joker in the Batman, Barry something.
Yeah, Barry Keoghan.
Mhm.
Barry Keoghan. So we got 3 different Jokers and 3. I don't know. It's so much.
Yeah, they lack cohesion. They need
Yeah.
to get a direction
I
and go.
think if you want to merge them all together, I guess you could do Spider-Man No Way Home or X-Men Days of Future Past and do like a multiverse story to bring them all together. But that might be a little too much, especially considering the different ratings and demographics that all these various movies have gone for. It could be a bit too much, and it might destroy the movie if it does that.
Not only that, but DC I always liked more too because all the movies feel unique. Like you can tell they're directed by different people. They're going for a different tone. If they did that, I'd be worried that they would all get very vanilla, similar to the way Marvel feels the same in every movie,
Yeah.
I don't know. So I don't know what I want personally.
Well, I agree with you.
I actually like both studios for just the different spices that they bring to the genre. To me, if they stand out, it's still going to be a good movie at the end of the day. I think DC's taken more risks creatively, I would say, overall than Marvel. But at the end of the day, if the movie's good, I'm still going to give it its due.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a fair point. I think I've got to agree with Harry. In terms of like DC have gone more creative with their projects. And for me, there's more I've like in my collection of people like 4Ks, I actually don't have any Marvel movies. I've got all DC movies.
I'm the exact opposite. I got all Marvel movies.
I'm pretty equal. I have both.
Well, I don't know what it is. So, for example, right? So I've got Joker. I've got the Batman, and then I've got the Dark Knight trilogy. So for me, I think like the higher age rated movies that they've made are incredible. Like I would go back any day and watch one of those. Whereas like Marvel, I've got like maybe a handful, like Spider-Man No Way Home, Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. Got the first Guardians, Captain America movies, and that's kind of about it. The only ones I'd ever go back and revisit.
It also goes back to what you said before about like the first Avengers feeling sort of like it lost what it once had now that we're so far removed from where at that point in the storyline that movie came out. I think like that's the reason for me. I'm the same way. I only own DC movies because it's like at a certain point, I'm not going to go back and watch these little connecting movies here and there that came out. They kind of lose their value for me. Sometimes I'll want to go back and watch the origin movies again, like the first Iron Man or the first Captain America. But DC movies seem to stand on their own a lot longer because they seem more focused on like, the Dark Knight movies stand on their own. They're great. All those DC movies are independently great movies, I think. So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't agree more with you.
Yeah. For me, it's more so the quality of the movie. I like standalone stories. Those are the ones that stand out for me. Like my favorite Marvel movies, aside from Avengers Endgame. The other ones in my top 3 are Guardians 2, hot take, and Black Panther, because with those 2 movies, they stand on its own and don't feel as interconnected. So I definitely see your point in that. But there's still some really great comic book movies, whether they're interconnected or not. And for me, it's between the storytelling, the characters, the world building. There's a lot to offer in the genre, and I do like both Marvel and DC as a whole.
Yeah, I'm with you on Guardians 2, by the way. That's one of my favorite Marvel movies.
Yeah.
We've also got Ryan saying DC for the win.
For the win.
Nice to see some DC fans.
Right. Yeah, I think it's an interesting one. Don't get me wrong. I have actually in the future got live streams coming up for Marvel and DC. I'm going to go in depth with them. So probably get you guys back on for that.
Right.
Got a couple more questions here. Let's have a look. Okay, Nolan says, if you could join any superhero team for a day, Who would you choose out of these? X-Men, Justice League, or Avengers?
Ooh, it's a hard question. I love all of them.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh man. Oh. Like every group has standout members that you'd want to hang out with. That's the problem. Like the X-Men has
Right.
Wolverine, Justice League has you Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, the Avengers, you got Spider-Man, Iron Man, Captain America, Doctor Strange. That's a hard question. I think because literally my top two superheroes of all time, combining Marvel and DC together, are Batman and Superman. I think I'm going to have to go with the Justice League because I love those two characters. But that's a hard question.
yeah, I think to be honest, Jacob, I'm going to go with you. I would probably go with the Justice League because my favorite's Batman.
Yeah.
Same here, Mike. Exact same thing you just said. My favorite superhero is Batman. I can't not say Justice League. So, but if Spider-Man was part of the Avengers, which I don't think he technically is, right? So,
He's been in some lineups, like he was in Infinity War, and briefly
Right.
at the end of Endgame.
but is he technically like? I don't know.
I mean, Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man said, "Congratulations, you're an Avenger now." When they're up in space, so
Right.
if that
That's
counts,
true. Okay, maybe Avengers then, because I love Spider-Man too. So,
yeah.
Well, Jason, who would you hang out with?
There's no wrong answer, I don't think, in these three.
No.
My first gut feeling was X-Men. That was the first thing that came to my mind. I have so much nostalgia for the X-Men animated series when I was a kid. Loved X-Men was like my favorite. Wolverine was like my favorite character. I dressed up as Wolverine for Halloween when I was a kid.
Nice.
Absolutely love Wolverine, but I love the X-Men in total. But all three would be great. But yeah, I don't know why my gut feeling was X-Men for some reason.
Get ya. Yeah, dude, that's awesome. And a bit of variation here as well as with all of us. That's cool.
Really, I'm like the lone one,
right.
the oddball.
Well, the question we had earlier about the Marvel character who was the best and the worst, who wasn't in the MCU. Lego News says for me, it had to be the guy who played Doctor Doom in Fantastic Four Stick 2015.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that version of Doom was terrible.
Is that the latest one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That got really
Four
bad
Stick.
reviews.
I never saw that one.
Oh
I didn't
my
see that.
goodness, that didn't even resemble Doctor Doom at all, from what I understand of the character. It was like they were trying to do something else with the character, and it just fell so miserably. Once he became Doctor Doom, I don't know what they were going for.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check out that movie. I've never seen it.
Yeah,
Good-
sure.
good
Bad
luck.
Watch
Good
at
luck.
your own
Yeah.
caution.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I've not heard great things.
Well,
I
that
don't have
director,
one positive review.
Trank, I think his name was.
Yeah.
He did Chronicle, which was a decent movie.
Okay.
He then got Fantastic Four, and he also was going to do a Star Wars movie. And so his career was going up like gangbusters. But that Fantastic Four movie, there was just a lot of bad press about the making of that movie. And then he came out and said, like, oh, this isn't the movie I want. So then he just badmouthed the movie that he just made, I think.
Yeah.
And was like,
Well,
the studio ruined the movie. And so, and there's all this talks of like, it was just a really toxic set when they made it. And the director was not getting along with people. And then he got fired from the Star Wars movie before he ever got to make it. And I don't think he's done anything since, but yeah, just ruined his career. I think that.
I think he did an Al Capone movie with Tom Hardy, which came out a couple of years ago. But it's like an old Al Capone where he's like suffering from like health issues. And apparently, like it's centered around Al Capone farting a lot or something, and apparently it was really bad.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I heard it was bad.
Yeah.
Wow. That sounds awful.
Yeah. And for the record, I didn't really like Chronicle that much. I thought if I had to say overrated superhero movie, I would say Chronicle. Mainly because I didn't like the found footage aspect of the movie.
Okay.
I thought was obnoxious.
Yeah. I haven't seen that movie in years, so I can't remember it that much, being honest. I think it was Michael B. Jordan, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was long before he
Creed.
was big, and he was all right in the movie. Like it wasn't like a mind blowing performance, but it was cool that he got his start, like one of his early roles in that movie before he became big.
Yeah.
Oh, fair. Well, we've actually got a really interesting question. I don't know if you guys are ready for this one. Firstly, we've got Off the Cover saying greetings from New York. Well, hey man, hope you're doing well. Okay, so I like this question that's coming up, and it's from Ryan, and he says, "You're the leading man in a romantic comedy. Which female actress are you chasing?"
Oh, Ryan, thanks.
I got like 4 or 5 actresses off the top of my head.
Wow.
Right. Okay. Probably same here, Jacob, but I guess we can only go one. One actress.
Man.
I got one too.
Okay. Go ahead.
So which actress are we chasing after if you got to pick? All right. Okay.
Mainly because I think this actress started out in comedic roles, and I love seeing her in a lot of these roles before she did a lot more serious stuff, like being in the MCU and all. I'm gonna go with Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, great pick.
Nice.
Solid.
Nice. It's a good pick. Harry, Jason, have you guys got one?
Yeah, probably Rachel McAdams, because I secretly love The Notebook and try to probably like relive that or something. So yeah.
To be fair, both you guys have got good taste, so
Those are all good.
Yeah.
Gosh, oh man, I was thinking of an actress, and then I just started thinking like, I don't know how old she is. I might sound creepy if I say an actress that's too young. So now I'm kind of afraid. Because my first thought was Emma Stone, but I don't know if she's too young for me.
She's in her.
I don't know how old she is.
I don't know.
I was thinking like I can look it up to make it less awkward. Emma Stone is
Emma Stone is
33.
a solid pick.
Okay, I'm
She's
39.
33.
That could
Okay,
work.
there you go.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll go with
Okay.
Emma Stone.
that's solid.
Ryan,
Yeah, I like Emma Stone.
this is a good question by Ryan, by the way.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan.
Yeah. Ryan says, I know Mike isn't picking Natalie Portman. That is very true. All of you guys have got solid picks, to be fair. I think out of the 3 of you, I think Jason's probably picked the best one for me personally.
Okay.
My pick is going to have to be Anne Hathaway,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's
Okay.
solid. Yeah.
Great.
especially as
Good one.
Catwoman.
Yeah.
Oh.
Man, I should have said Melissa McCarthy. That would have been funny, but
Oh.
Right, how do I
Uh-oh.
kick Jason off the
I
screen?
didn't think of it. I didn't think of it fast enough, but
Oh man, no! Don't get me started on Melissa McCarthy or Natalie Portman. Oh, okay. Ryan here, which he actually said his pick, which I was actually going to pick one of them, but I was like, I prefer Anne Hathaway. Just trying to load it up here. He says his pick is Amanda Seyfried or Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh, those aren't bad picks.
Yeah.
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 I will say some of the ones that were close. I almost picked Emma Watson because I had a crush on her as a kid when
Yeah, I remember
watching
you
Harry
saying
Potter
that.
movies. But yeah, Scarlett Johansson. I think because I've seen her do more funny stuff. Because she did a lot more comedic roles when she was younger. Like, yeah, I'd like to see her do something more lighthearted again. I think she'd be great. Like a post MCU rom-com.
Yeah. I mean, I can't say I agree with that one, but that's cool, Jacob, on your take. I think it's tough because we've all probably got like a top 5 and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Jennifer Lawrence is definitely my top 5, but It's just me. And I'll keep it at that because I don't want it to sound creepy now.
Yeah.
I've got Tim saying, "Who would you guys say is your favorite director?" Mine is Kubrick.
Oh, Kubrick.
Ooh, it's a
All
good choice.
Yeah.
I'd say for me, Christopher Nolan is probably my favorite director. Like, to me, he's been the most consistent director in terms of like all the movies he's made. Like, he can make comic book movies. He's done sci-fi with Inception and Tenet, Interstellar, and then of course he's gone and done Dunkirk. Whatever genre he's touched, he makes some really interesting movies. I love the style of filmmaking he uses and his passion for making movies and like continually raising the bar as far as filming movies with the IMAX technology he uses and making sure audiences are immersed in his movies, and he goes for as much use of practical effects as possible in his movies. And just all of his movies have interesting stories that I'm always drawn to and fascinated to, whether his take on Batman, probably his most underrated film, The Prestige, is a very compelling cautionary tale of obsession. I love the mind-bending originality of Inception. Interstellar, I thought, was a compelling sci-fi movie, and I would say that's pretty much my 2001: A Space Odyssey if I was choosing what's the better sci-fi movie.
Right.
Dunkirk's a great war movie, and Tenet's one of his weaker films, but I still love it for his ambition, at least, even though the story's not as cohesive as his best films. So I'm gonna have to say Christopher Nolan. I just love the guy's ambition, and he has a lot of great technical stuff that I love in pretty much every movie he's made.
Solid. I have a question. So, like, what are your thoughts on Insomnia? Have you seen that movie?
I have seen Insomnia. That one is really good. Like, I watched it for the first time a couple of years ago when I was doing an early director project on my channel. And
Yeah.
that's a movie nobody's talked about, and I thought it was great. I loved especially seeing Robin Williams play a rare villain role, and I
Yeah.
thought he was especially
Wow.
creepy in it.
It is an
Al
underrated
Pacino-
movie.
And Al Pacino is so good in that movie, and it was a really interesting detective story. I feel like it's slept on a lot. It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you've seen it. It's so good.
Yeah,
Wow, I did not know about this movie.
yeah.
I
It
missed
was one of
Punisher.
his.
Or is
It was one of his earliest movies. It came out in 2002, so it was before he did Batman Begins.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to have a look at this because I love Robin Williams, and I loved him in like 1 Hour Photo where he plays a really creepy character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so I imagine him as a villain. Wow, that would be so unique.
Yeah. Yeah. You should check it out. It's my favorite Christopher Nolan movie, and it's
Oh,
one
wow.
that I've
That's
never heard
okay.
anyone talk about. So
Wow.
That's a good-
Yeah, I gotta give you props because that's nobody talks about that one, and that one's
Nobody.
your favorite. I guess. Well, my hot take, my favorite is The Prestige.
there you go. That's probably his second most underrated, or most underrated, depending on how you look at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Is the Prestige, is that like kind of like a follow up to The Illusionist?
He never
It came
did
out around
The
the same
Illusionist.
time.
I think it was two magician movies that just
Yeah.
came out
Right.
at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
this one has Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale as feuding magicians.
Yeah, because I know I've seen The Illusionist with Ed Norton. I like
Yeah.
that movie.
Yeah.
I like Illusionist. That's a good movie.
I haven't seen The Illusionist, but The Prestige is fantastic, and it has one of my favorite twist endings in any movie I've watched. That's
Oh.
part of the reason why it's my favorite Nolan movie, because that was the one where I saw the twist ending. I was like, whoa, I can't believe they did that.
Yeah. See, I find Prestige depressing. I find Illusionist has a really good ending to it. I really like Illusionist.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I would say director wise, I don't really have a favorite, but I would say probably Nolan as well. Like obviously, I own the Dark Knight trilogy. They're my favorite superhero movies ever. For me, I don't think they'll ever be topped, but I'll hold my hands up. I could be wrong. And I saw Inception for the first time, I think early last year. fantastic movie. Love that movie. And yeah, I think he's got like a filmography where I've seen probably the most movies of a director, and I like a lot of them. So I'm going to go Nolan. Jason, do you have a favorite director?
Well, I have to go with an obvious one, but I still think Steven Spielberg is my favorite director.
Yeah, he's up there for me too.
And and maybe it's because I like blockbusters maybe more, and he's made some of the great blockbusters. Indiana Jones, I love Indiana Jones. Love Jurassic Park. I love World of Worlds. I think it's a great movie. I love Ready Player One. I thought was really great.
Future.
What's that? Oh, he produced.
He produced Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Obviously, Schindler's List and Saving Private Ryan are just absolute masterpiece directing wise. I don't think anybody directs suspense better than Spielberg in my opinion. I mean, he's really good at those kind of movies. Plus, the historical dramas are done very well as well. So,
right, yeah, solid pick. With Spielberg. Harry, how about yourself?
It's a tough question, but probably for me it would be James Cameron, as I'm about to do all his movies.
Oh, you got Titanic behind you.
Yeah, if it wasn't obvious. Yep. I think there's no other director for me where I like all their movies, at least especially for ones that make a bunch of blockbusters. So for me, James Cameron, I like all his movies, and I just think like it's so hard to make a sequel. We see so many bad sequels, right? But he has this way with Aliens and Terminator 2 to just make such an amazing sequel that's usually better than the first movie. And then even with a few of his films where I'm like not a huge fan of, like the first time I saw Avatar, I thought it was boring and didn't really like it. And then you look more into how it was made and the technological advancement that it kind of gives the rest of the film industry. It's like, even for a movie that I'm not super into, it's like I have to respect his level of creativity, his perfectionism, and just amazing talent that he has. So for me, it would be James Cameron, probably.
Out of curiosity, I know this is a movie that he didn't really have full control on, and he since disowned it. But have you seen Piranha 2?
No, I haven't seen Piranha 2. I don't know if I should consider that one of his movies or not.
I thought that was like.
I watched James Cameron's filmography, and I pondered that same question. And I even asked my Twitter followers, should I count Piranha 2 for my James Cameron series? And they said yes. So
oh, God.
Of
course they're going to say yes.
It's bad.
I'm skipping it. I don't care. I'm not watching it.
Yeah. I don't blame you. Even when I reviewed him, I'm like, yeah. Even though I still counted it on my ranking, his true first movie is The Terminator.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he hasn't made that many movies, has he?
No, and since Avatar, there's been nothing. He's been waiting for the technology to catch up to make Avatar 2.
It's like he doesn't make that many. So like when he hits a good one, he's batting really good. His batting average is very good.
Right. Kind of like when he hits like a gold mine, as such.
Yeah, right. It's like Titanic, biggest movie ever. Avatar, biggest movie ever. It's like all he does is make the biggest movie ever. So.
Right. Terminator, he's created a big franchise,
Yeah.
Right. Probably best action movie ever made.
Breaking box office everywhere. And
Right. Aliens. I like it better, probably a little better than Alien, right? It's like how do you top that? It's just
and
amazing.
then like the big dark horse, True Lies, which is in my top 5, James Cameron. It's a really awesome, underrated action movie.
Right.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Harry, I'm excited for you to cover this filmography, man. I'm going to be checking them out.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
I'm going to subscribe just so I can check out your videos.
Thanks, man.
I was going to say, do you have to head off?
Yeah, it's after 5. I got to be somewhere. I enjoyed being a part of the stream. Thank you, Mike, for inviting me. I'm sure, Mike, you'll leave a link in the description where you can check out my channel. I actually have a live stream later on tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm doing a live stream with my friend Ryan Cam, who we have a podcast together on his channel every week called Life in the Movies, and then I have him once a month on my channel where we're covering the filmography of DreamWorks animation called Discussing DreamWorks. Well, he's going to be on my live stream tonight where we'll be talking 2001 A Space Odyssey for my director project on Stanley Kubrick. Feel free to check that out if you're into Stanley Kubrick or you have your own thoughts on the movie, whether good or bad. I'd love to have you. I gotta go now, so take care. I hope you enjoy the rest of the stream. Hopefully I'll be back soon if you're willing to invite me, Mike.
Right. Yeah, of course, man. And thanks for joining, Jacob. And the link to Jacob's channel is in the description box below. So yeah, thanks for joining, Jacob. See you later.
All right, bye.
See ya.
Yeah, so what we'll do, guys, is we've got a couple more questions. We'll get through those and then we'll see how the stream goes. Very quickly, we've got Exploitation Review saying I'm way late, was watching the movie, but he's joining now. So hey man, hope you're doing well. All right, so Joe asks a question here. He says, if you guys could punch any actor square in the face and get away with it, who would it be? For him, it would be Sandler.
Always Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler in what movie, though? I have to ask. Like,
oh, he means in general. He doesn't like Adam Sandler.
Right? Yeah.
I don't know if I have one. I don't like Melissa McCarthy and Natalie Portman, but I wouldn't punch them.
Right, it's kind of harsh.
Right.
I have a thought, but I don't want to even say.
I was thinking Will Smith, maybe.
Oh, okay.
And I'd say, how do you like that? And then I'd walk away. Like,
I don't know. I don't think I have one personally. I can't think of like any actors I despise. You know.
Oh, I'd punch the guy who plays Flash. I'd punch him in the face.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, you can get away with saying that.
Yeah, he probably deserves it.
Yeah, he probably deserves something. So.
Right. Well, Harry, do you have one?
Probably Captain Marvel, Blake Lively. Probably. Is that her name? Yeah.
Oh, Brie Larson?
Or Brie Larson. Sorry. Yeah. My bad. Yeah, Brie Larson, especially in that movie, right? Like, I don't know. Right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Captain Marvel at all.
Yeah.
No. There's just no emotion. It's like,
nah.
Like,
I don't know if I'd say punch, but sorry. What's that, Jason?
Yeah.
I said Blake Lively, I think, was an Aquaman.
I don't know.
Amber Heard. Oh, Amber Heard. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Nah.
Blake Lively. No, Blake Lively. Yeah, no, never mind. Blake Lively's fine. I'm thinking Amber Heard.
We're all putting her in movies.
Yeah, all these girls get mixed up in my brain, I guess.
Right. Well, we've got View Drew. He says, "What are your thoughts on the expendable movies? I think they're fun, cheesy action movies, but don't expect a masterpiece."
I'm looking forward to the one coming out next year. I think
there's another one.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I like them. I mean, it's like I turn my brain off and just have a good time. I know a lot of people hate on them, but it's kind of cool to see all these guys come together. And I don't know. I don't have any issue with them, so I think they're fun.
Yeah, I think the second one's really good. That's, to me, the standout of the three, from what I remember. It's been a while since I watched them, but yeah, because I think Schwarzenegger was barely kind of mentioned in the first one, but I think a bigger part in the second one, if I remember right.
Yeah.
And Chuck Norris comes in the second one, which I thought that was so awesome, seeing Chuck Norris come back.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't done anything in such a long time. It's like, oh, Chuck Norris, so awesome. So it is fun for nostalgia reasons if you like 80s action movies. So I do enjoy that aspect of it for sure. But yeah.
Yeah, I think I've got to agree with you guys. Yeah, the ones I've seen, like what Drew said, they're kind of like just fun, cheesy movies. Never been ones I've had like an urgency to rewatch at any point.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see what they do with the new one. That'd be cool. I think it's Jason Statham. He's going to be in it, and I'd like to see if Megan Fox is going to be in it. I might be wrong. I don't know how she kind of belongs in there, but
Yeah, no clue.
I want to see Jackie Chan join the group, or
Oh, that would be cool.
Me too.
Yeah.
because I remember there's an article. Jackie Chan said they asked him, but he said he was working on another movie, so he didn't do it. But he said he would love to do one in the future, and I was like, yeah, you got to add Jackie Chan to that list.
Got to,
Oh,
surely.
yeah.
You know,
Shoot. We've got Tim. He says, "What's your favorite film from Quentin Tarantino?" I only seen a couple of his movies. The one I would say my favorite, Reservoir Dogs, from what I've seen.
and you weren't a fan of Kill Bill, if I remember right.
Nah, not really.
Yeah. Django Unchained's my favorite.
Yeah, that's my favorite too. So,
Really?
Yeah, it is. Which is unpopular, right? Everyone says Pulp Fiction or
Reservoir Dogs.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's probably just my age too. Like I saw Django Unchained when it came out, and it was like,
Okay.
so I just love it because of that. But
Yeah, I thought the action was so well done, and the performances so good. Love Leonardo DiCaprio was so good, and Christoph Waltz, love him in those movies.
Right. Yeah, Django's a good movie. Yeah, I agree with you guys. Yeah, I've seen Django, I've seen Reservoir Dogs, I've seen Death Proof, and I've seen 2 Kill Bills.
Okay.
Mine's definitely Reservoir, then Django for me.
So yeah, you need to see Pulp Fiction. Then that's the big one.
Yeah, I've heard, but not in any urgency to watch it. Being honest.
Inglourious Bastards was pretty popular as well, I would say. But yeah.
Yeah, again, it's like just like these movies I haven't seen, but I haven't got urgency to watch them.
Right.
Like I don't like the ones I have seen. Like I like the Reservoir and Django. The rest of them I don't really like. So I don't know.
He's a hit or miss for me, but yeah.
Yeah, it seems like that. We've got Gareth saying, "Hey guys," so hey Gareth.
Hey.
Well, let's have a look. Exploitation says, maybe it's cheap, but my favourite director is Tarantino. I've liked all of his movies, and I can't say that about any other director. Yeah, it's cool, man. I'm glad that you like Tarantino. Yeah, I was just saying a bit hit and miss in a way. And he also says, punch any actor, any of those right-wing jumpers who spout nonsense on Twitter.
So he wants to punch me in the face, I guess.
Dude, I don't know. I've got Twitter, but I deleted it. I don't even know what goes on there. So
yeah, same.
Can't say. I mean, people do say I have a very punchable face, so I'm one to talk. No, definitely not, dude. You're cool. Ruddy says Reservoir Dogs is my second favorite. One is Predator, 3 is the Batman. Yeah, cool, man. That's pretty cool.
Okay. That's fair.
Explosion says you have to watch Pulp Fiction. Yeah, I plan to at some point. I'm not too sure when though. And Ruddy says Kill Bill Volume 1 was good, but I just didn't connect with the character of the bride that much, really. Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah, Uma Thurman is definitely the best part of that movie. The first one's better than the second part for me. And Tim says, I think Inglourious Bastards and Hateful Eight are also up there in the upper echelon of Tarantino movies. Yeah, cool, man. I haven't seen them. Roddy says, Tarantino's my favourite writer director. I like all of his movies. Yeah, a lot of love for Tarantino tonight.
Well, he's another one that's not made that very many movies, so
right.
Yeah, he'd be an easy one to catch up with for Mike, anyways.
Well, I've seen a few of his movies. Yeah, yeah. I just haven't got an urgency to watch them. You know, like nothing. Like for me, nothing screams out with those movies being like, right, sit down tonight, go watch them. Yeah, I don't know what it is. But yeah, pretty much just going to wrap up here, guys. But I just want to firstly thank Harry and Jason for jumping on Z Talks and Jacob, who left before. Just before we kind of sign off, I wanted to take it over first to Harry. Yeah, man, do you want to just tell everyone a little bit about what content you've got coming up on the channel?
Sure. Yeah. Again, thanks for having me on, man. I really, really appreciate it. This was fun.
Yeah, welcome, man.
I just do movie reviews. That's my main thing, but I've been doing analyzed longer form videos. I also do Blu-ray hunts. I like just searching and expanding my Blu-ray collection. And I like doing movie discussions too. So I plan to have people on with me to sit and talk and do long form discussions about films. So look forward to that too.
Yeah, awesome, man. And have you got any videos coming out this weekend or anything?
Not this weekend, but next week I'll have a Terminator longer discussion to start my James Cameron series. So I'll be reviewing all his films up to the release of the new Avatar. So every week I'll be coming out with another one and some videos in between that, but that'll be the main thing. So
nice. Yeah, well, I'm interested in seeing that video. And yeah, please go over and subscribe to Harry. The link is down below in the description box. He is growing as well on YouTube. Just hit over 100, so let's help him get to 150. And yeah, man, it's been an absolute pleasure having you, and definitely get you back again.
great.
And Jason, how about you? What videos you got coming up?
Yeah, so each week I'm trying, like I started this ranking the MCU movies from Iron Man to Avengers Endgame. I did my second video the other day on that, so I'm trying to do one of those each week to try to finish up the rankings of all the MCU movies there. I also have been ranking my top 100 favorite albums, and I'm at number 39. So I try to do one of those each week. I'm ranking every single Beatles song, and so I'm going to be doing another. I try to do one of those each week, trying to get through all the Beatles songs. I'm at number 88, I believe, on that. And then I usually try to do what I've been watching for the last week, probably Saturday or something. I'll probably try to do a video covering stuff like Pinocchio and stuff that I just saw for the first time. I'm going to be on Adam's What the Gems channel on a live stream this Saturday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're going to rank the 11 songs that Ringo sings with the Beatles. So we're doing a ranking there on that. And then I'm planning on November 5th to do a live stream and have Mike on. This Mike over here, the host from Did You See That, to talk about Back to the Future, one of my favorite movies.
Well, dude, you know it's my favorite movie.
That's why I thought you'd be a good guest.
Yeah, I'm excited to chop it up with you, and I'm excited to see what you've got in store for that stream.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Jason's got an awesome channel as well. He's doing a lot of rankings, as he says, at the moment. He's got so many rankings on the go at the moment. But I'm here all for it, dude. I really am. So Jason's close to 150 as well. So please go subscribe to him. And Harry and Jacob. All links are down below in the description box. I just want to thank both of you guys as well for doing this tonight. It's been a blast. We've got Pete very quickly saying fantastic stream as always. Night, guys. So thanks for watching. Pete. And we've got Ryan saying awesome stream as always. Great to have Harry as well and everyone else on. Yeah, thanks, absolutely. Ryan. And Exploitation says Back to the Future is a good pick for favorite movie. Absolutely. Yeah. I can't disagree.
Approval.
But yeah, just want to thank you guys for tuning in. And until the next time that we see you, we'll be seeing you later. So bye, everyone.